you live it down, Nancy.
すごい。いい音。
Carry that stink of the streets with you the rest of your life.
I like the stink of the streets. It makes me feel good. I like the smell of it. It opens up my lungs.
Where is she?
Look, it may take a while. You want to wait? There's a bench over there.
I'll be back.
You know what we use on stage, but it's very, very special because if you can see, the numbers all go to 11.
Does that mean it's louder? Why don't you just make 10 louder and make 10 be the top number and make that a little louder?
These go to 11.
Oh, this is funny.
7 o'clock. It's over. Time to get shit-faced.
Speaking on behalf of the bank, we would surely take it as a sign that you were doing something to provide for your family.
When would you like your brother-in-law to move in?
As a matter of fact, I have his things out in the car right now.
If, you don't go back to bed, Santa won't come.
He's not the only one. People who have no hopes are easy to control.
Are you the keymaster?
Yeah. I'm a friend of his. He told me to meet him here.
You know, Lisa, there's nothing worse than a female lawyer with a cause.
Cool. Welcome to with Lisa, Phil, and Aaron. And this week we're doing something. We're going to rewrite history. We did an original Rotisserie Cinema take 1 where we did the movies of 1983, where we developed a scoring system to try to determine the best movie of 1983.
Mm-hmm.
And
based on the opinions of 5 people.
Right.
Excuse me.
And in the course of that, Casey Box attended that and helped us do that. Thank you, Casey.
Yeah.
During the course of that, it was brought up that 1984 was a much better year for movies. And so we started looking into it, and turns out that was correct. I mean, you could probably pick 25 of the best movies of 1984, and any one of them would compete almost with the top 10 of 1983, I would guess.
Yeah.
This is a way to look at it. So that got me to thinking about the Academy Awards that year. It was one of those years where they took the Academy Award and they decided to shower all these awards on one film. I don't know if that's the first time they've done that, but that's something the Academy of Performing Arts and Sciences has been kind of notorious for doing. It was Amadeus.
Amadeus walked away with everything.
Which did not make my top 50.
8 awards, I think.
Yeah, it didn't make my top 10.
Well, it doesn't surprise me that it didn't make your top 10, but it did win like Best Picture, Best Supporting Actor, F. Murray Abraham, Best Score, Best Costume, I think.
Didn't make my top 50. So
right. I imagine that's.
I loved it. I had it number 19.
Reinforce the Academy of Performing Arts and Sciences with our pick today. Although I love
or
that movie,
pretty much ever, but
it's my guess that we're not, but maybe so.
Right.
But we're going to rewrite history. We're not going to award an Oscar this year. We're going to award
a Felix.
A Felix for the best movie of 1984. And we're going to do it in a game show format with some of the best podcast superstars on the internet. And and experts from around the globe.
That's you guys, man.
Various fields. Some of which have been guests on our show before, and some of which are joining us for the first time. So with that, I'm going to turn
Oh my God. From Facebook admin to podcast superstar. Will, look what you guys have done to me.
I fought for you when TJ wanted to fire you. Just let the record show.
You deserve every accolade.
Right.
You deserve all the accolades, Thea.
We're in the star-making business here. But we're going to turn over
Yeah, right.
floor to our co-host Aaron, who's going to go over the rules of our game here and get it started.
Okay, so we have 12 panelists, so hopefully everyone has 12 films ranked. We just need to nominate one apiece. After we nominate, we have 2 minutes to discuss why you nominated that title. Why is that the best title in the year? Assuming that you're really boosting for that title and your real favorite hasn't been picked yet, because after everyone has their nomination, and you can't nominate something if it's already been nominated, we all vote on the nominees. That there will be 12 that we rank again, 1 through 12. And the number 1 votes will each get 12 points. Number 2s will get 11. Number 3s will get 10, so on down to the number 12 votes will even get 1 point each. And it'll be totaled up and we'll award the Felix. After the break, we're going to discuss we'll discuss our rankings basically, and we'll discuss what didn't make the list. I think that's kind of the more interesting parts, but the timer is important. There's going to be 2 minutes to support your case, and people have, I think, 1 minute or less for a rebuttal if they want one, and then we move on. I'm ready to start whenever you guys are.
Well, nobody told me there was going to be rebuttals.
Well,
Sorry.
support or rebut, but if you really, if you really despise something, just don't do it in the 2 minutes somebody has. That's what that time's for. Or if you really like it. Okay, so Will's going to be our first. Will's going to be our first nominee. Nominator.
All right. Awesome. Thank you very much, Aaron. So this was, like you said, a really tough year to pull one movie out of the pile. I had to think of something that was innovative, culturally relevant, made a splash as far as branching out into different aspects of trees that are still relevant in today's cinema, and just, hey, I like it. I am a firm believer that one of the highest forms of art, when done, at its peak, is in fact when you achieve that fine line between suspension of disbelief and potential reality. Point to me a film in 1984 that did this better than this is Spinal Tap. Pure genius. First of all, there are 2 films on this that basically took all the comedic talent in the world and said, nope, we're grabbing them for one film. I mean, Michael McKean, Christopher Guest, it's just, the list goes on as far as just supremely talented individuals. Rob Reiner at the helm. My God. I mean, Bruno Kirby, Paul Schaefer. This actually preceded Waiting for Guffman, which is many's favorite, by Christopher Guest by almost 12 years. In fact, I don't know if you know this, but when it first came out, people were approaching Rob Reiner and saying, I wish you'd picked a better band for this documentary. They had no idea. The soundtrack. I'm sorry, if you don't like Sex Farm or Big Bottom, I'm logging out of this call right now. There is no, think about iconic lines in cinema. Like, this goes up to 11. That's on the level with You Broke My Heart, Fredo. I mean, offer you can't refuse. Yes, I'm leaning Mafia on this one. And I will point out that to this day, whenever Guitar World puts together a list of the top guitarists of all times, including Clapton, Hendrix, Vai, Vaughn, Nigel Tufnell will make the list every single time. So I don't think there's anything more transformative. I don't think there's anything more unique. I don't think there's anything more standout as far as complete contribution of talent in just a masterpiece, or this is Spinal Tap.
Nice
call.
Yeah. Hopefully that was under 2 minutes, because it took me forever to get the stopwatch going. And Phil, screen sharing's not enabled.
Yeah. I wanted to hear what Will had to say, so that we'll give him a mulligan if he went over.
And you need
I don't think he did. I think he had a little time left, probably.
I yield my time.
Green.
Compelling argument for sure.
Yeah, for my 1 minute of rebuttal or whatever, I had 3 A+ movies, and that was one of them, but it's not the one I picked for number 1.
But still an A+, mind you.
Yeah. It's, if anybody picks the one that I had, I think it was my number. No, it was my number 3.
I don't have a rebuttal. I have a comment. more of a hand gesture, I guess. But Will, that's it.
Gotcha.
I mean, I got a rebuttal for that. I think this is Spinal Tap is boring as hell.
Yeah.
Oh, ouch.
I find very little humor in it when I watched it. I watched it a long time ago for another bracket I was on with it, and like it just, to me, there's not much humor. I mean, the cameo is the only good part of it.
The first time I watched it, admittedly, like I was like, wait a minute, what am I watching? Which made me go back to it a second time. It's one of those multiple viewings does add to it completely.
Yeah. It invented the mockumentary too.
Yeah.
I was going to say that as well. Yeah, that's 100%.
One of the greatest fictional bands of all time, which by the way is coming up on my show as a top 5.
And
Nice.
You wouldn't want to be their drummer, just
No.
No. Will, I had them in my top 10. And my only comment on that is it's the only movie in history that goes to 11.
Yes, it does. Amen.
Aaron, see if you can share now.
Okay.
It's
There you go. All right.
okay.
All right. So, Amanda.
Okay, so for my pick, I going off what Will said as far as taking all of the comedic talent available and throwing it into one movie, I actually think my movie blows this Spinal Tap out of the water. There are a lot of 80s movies that did this, first of all. They took, everyone from SNL and everyone from stand up and just like made epic movies. But for me, I think the best one of 84 comedic wise that did this. His batteries are dying. This is my Stay Puft Build-A-Bear. I mean, I don't think, first of all, Ivan Reitman's one of the epic directors, especially of the 80s. And I don't think you get better than that collection of actors.
God damn it, Amanda.
The comedic timing, obviously the story is unrealistic, but who cares? Who didn't want to be a Ghostbuster? I did.
Exactly.
I've been a Ghostbuster for Halloween twice. So everybody wanted to strap on that proton pack. Everybody wanted to go hunt ghosts and, save New York City. And a gigantic Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, how much better than that does it get for a nemesis? Ghostbusters is so much fun. I've seen it a million times. I never get tired of it. And, Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray can do no wrong. Not to mention Rick Moranis, just hilarious. Just everybody. And crush on Egon, my heart. Oh, the nerdy guys. I always have a thing for nerdy guys. So yeah, my pick is Ghostbusters. I think it's one of the best movies of the 80s, but specifically of 84, one of the very best.
Okay. Oh, 26 seconds to spare. Good job, Amanda.
Stay Puft says hi.
And what couple of drunk guys haven't gone in the bathroom trying to use it and going, don't cross the street?
Exactly.
Something I wasn't aware of, but okay.
I will say, I thought it aged the most poorly of anything I rewatched.
How?
Why?
I want to hear this because I don't understand your philosophy behind this.
It seems like there was something of a cohesive script going on, and then there's everything Bill Murray did or said in the movie. I mean, I remember all the lines from when I watched it 100 times in the 80s, but it just doesn't hold up, and it doesn't seem like it belongs. Do
you think
other than we kicked its ass?
I think you're underappreciating Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis. You have to really be aware of what they're doing, but
Dan Aykroyd was fine. I like what he did. I like the whole bit about the ectomobile when he was
It'd be like
working on
reality's
that.
bleeding over into fantasy.
I'm just I expected it to be at the very top, and it ended up not. That's my minute.
Stay Puft is going to come marshmallow your head.
So Casey's next, unless anybody else wants a minute. on Ghostbusters.
I mean, I'm pissed. Amanda stole one of the ones I was going to choose for my top one.
Should have known.
That's
It was
why
either
we
that
need-
or one
That's why
other
we
one.
needed a list of. That's why your list needs to be the size of the participant.
Oh, trust me, it is. It is. You know that.
That's just the one he wanted.
Yeah.
I didn't have to watch that one even. That's just classic.
I think I surprised Casey with my pick, but
I think if I didn't watch it again, it would have been higher on my list.
Well, rebuttal's kind of a misnomer because you could use your minute
can use it to
support
boost
everything
also.
she said. Or
Yeah.
It was my number 2. Ghostbusters. And I don't know if it's aged well, but it still has, like Lisa had said, sometimes it's about how you felt when you first watched it. And to me, the impact that Ghostbusters had on me as a kid, and I feel like, unfortunately, the sequels didn't age as well, but I still feel like Ghostbusters to me retains its classic
sequels
status.
sucked out of the gate. But
Oh yeah.
You guys, Ghostbusters 2 is one of those that's almost as good as the original for me.
Seriously.
Unpopular opinion, I don't
even.
care.
Better even.
It had its moments, and honestly,
Not
the
better,
soundtrack had some really good stuff on it.
Yeah,
that
it did.
Underrated. So
I think it's better. I mean,
I really like the newest one with the kids. I mean, not
That
more
one
than
is
the
good.
original, but the newest one with the kids, I thought
All
that
Red,
was
yeah.
good. Those
I
kids
really wanna
did
see that.
great.
It's good. It's really good.
It's good. It's really good. The
It's a good
kids
love
did
letter.
such a good job.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So Casey.
Mhm.
Okay, so I will start this off by saying 3 or 4 of you know what I'm about ready to say. So for now, I will start off with one of the most iconic leading performances by a leading actor in a movie in 1984 directly, but I would put it probably top 10 amazing leading performances by a leading actor of all time. Great movie, creative story. I'm going to go with 1984 and the fact that
Sorry.
Listen here, woman.
The
You
movie
can be fired just
1984?
as No.
Okay.
The greatest horror franchise of all time. Nothing against the runner-up Halloween. Nightmare on Elm Street. John Carpenter is a legend, but in my honest to God opinion, Wes Craven created a ingenious idea where you cannot escape the being the prey of the killer, being Freddy, because everybody has to sleep, everybody has to dream, and once you're in your dreams, you're basically fucked, and Freddy will get you in the long run. The movie introduced some amazing actors, let alone it brought Robert Englund to the forefront, introduced the world to somebody by the name of Johnny Depp. Music-wise, the score is great. I feel it's just a great movie all around to begin with. So I will be nominating Nightmare on Elm Street.
Very good. Anybody want to take a minute on Nightmare?
I like that selection because I'll take a minute. I like that select. It won't be a minute, but I like that selection because the Academy of Performing Arts and Sciences will not put a horror movie up for vote. And I do think it's kind of a seminal, it's a seminal movie. It's a transitional movie in the horror genre. I remember seeing it at the theater, and when that tongue comes out of the telephone, it's like, oh my God, it was so creepy. So I think it's a good one.
If I could take some of his time, it won't take more than that. I think that the Academy should put in a horror and a comedy, because I believe that if those categories existed, they might try harder and do better comedies and better horror movies.
Good point.
Nightmare on Elm Street would definitely be a winner in many, many years.
Agreed. It's art.
Well, and like I said too, I'm not taking pot shots at Halloween. Halloween is a great franchise, and Amanda and I have discussed this many times on on, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to the listeners. Amanda and I have talked about this on both An Evening at the Movies and the SIP list, where she has Halloween at number 1, Nightmare on Elm Street at number 2. I have Nightmare on Elm Street at 1. I have Halloween at 2. Both of them are great franchises and deserve all the respect from horror movie fans in the world. So,
I don't need a. If I might add,
go ahead.
Oh, if I might add, Casey, first of all, nailed it. No notes. I think of all those series, Friday the 13th, Halloween. I'm thinking of the dregs of the installments. Which would I still enjoy watching? Even the bad Nightmare on Elm Streets I enjoy watching. You know, they're still
Even
fun
two?
further down. two is on the edge, but it's still enjoyable. So I will just say that as far as enjoyment of a franchise throughout ups and downs, yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street all the way, 100%.
Yeah, I don't need a whole. Sorry.
Oh, I'll just go ahead, man. I'll come after you.
I'm sorry. No, I don't need a whole minute either, but I said this kind of in the chat, and I've had this discussion with Casey too. I mean, as much as Halloween is my top franchise, Nightmare on Elm Street is terrifying. As a person who has lived my entire life with nightmares, even to this day, like when Nancy says, "Can't you just give me a pill to make me not dream?" If that existed, I would be patient 0. Like, give it to me. So it is terrifying. Like, it's a terrifying concept, and definitely, genuine and new in the fact that, yes, you have to sleep. I mean, you can't get away from it. So it's definitely a great choice, especially for horror in that year. So
that medicine is called marijuana there, Amanda, just letting you know.
Doesn't work for me.
You're not smoking enough then. You're not smoking enough.
The only thing I was going to add to it was I would throw in the tweener too. You hit Halloween, which kind of started it off, Nightmare, which came in, the Friday the 13th in between the two of them. I got to put that with the franchises too.
Friday the 13th started. The final chapter was in 84.
So when I think of those two, Nightmare on Elm Street and Halloween, I always got to put Friday the 13th in with those.
Yeah, I mean, they're the OG 3 for sure. So.
Yeah, and for Chansey, I will say, don't forget Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Other people are.
Go ahead.
Hellraiser, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah, that's valid.
Hold on one second. One thing in the chaos here that I've neglected to do is during the first round, if anyone had any socials or podcasts or anything to promote, we were going to give them a brief opportunity to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Do it at the end.
Why don't we do it in the second round? Or
let's go ahead and reserve that for the second round.
We'll do it when we present the our rankings.
Okay, I just don't want anybody to feel like they missed out. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. So Jeremy's the next nominator, unless there's more to say about Nightmare.
I was just going to throw in a little bit of trivia. I know that you guys enjoy that sometimes, but having worked in the industry, Nicolas Cage was he was offered the Johnny Depp role first, and he was friends with Johnny and said, I don't have time for it. This is not really for me right now. And so thanks to Nick, we got Johnny.
Cool.
Thank goodness
he did know that.
Too.
Another reason to love Nicolas Cage. Another reason to love Nicolas Cage.
Right?
What's not to love?
LD doesn't need another reason.
Yeah.
We found out something not to love yesterday when we went and saw Renfield, but that's another review.
Really?
Oh, that looks so amazing.
It looks so good.
You may feel differently.
All right, I'll allow a minute for Renfield.
Like Philip's not really a fan of that kind of thing. I am a super fan of horror comedy, and yeah, it's okay.
Ah.
Is it better or worse than Dracula Dead and Loving It?
I'd say it's just like maybe like this.
It's always
like,
once bitten.
Just a
love
little
Once
higher.
Bitten.
Oh, Once Bitten. I love
and
that.
Blackula, and My Best Friend's a Vampire.
Okay, now we have to do Dracula comedies.
There you go.
Vampire movies.
I still want my Dracula puppet musical that Forgetting Sarah Marshall promised me.
Oh, yeah.
It's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
I've heard.
All right,
Yay!
Jeremy.
Sorry.
What's your nomination?
Well, seeing as Ghostbusters got taken away from me.
Love you.
Damn it, I know you do, but how could you not? But I will have to throw it then to the only 10 that was on my list at all. Because I was thinking Terminator for a minute, but Terminator 2 is better, so I can't do that. But I gotta give it to Bachelor Party.
You can for 1984.
Nice.
I gotta give it to Bachelor Party. Fucking young Tom Hanks. And I had never seen this movie till a couple weeks ago, or a month ago, whatever it was now. But young Tom Hanks in one of the funniest movies I've seen in a long time that actually had me like laughing out loud that I almost woke the kids up. Like that's how good a movie it is. And he owed it myself beyond belief that it took me 34 years to watch it. I never even thought, and it's part of the reason I proposed something to Casey the other night that I proposed to him for a future thing on Evening at the Movies. So, but Bachelor Party is just a hilarious movie. The only thing that's ever been done better than it was in that movie is the donkey in Clerks 2 versus the donkey in that movie. But that's the only thing they ever did better, I'll say, because I've yet to see a Bachelor Party movie that's better than that. And yeah, The Hangover's not better.
Hangover.
Sorry. Nope. I am not a fan of the Hangover movies. I think they're kind of stupid comedy. I think they're stupid comedy, personally.
Okay, Jeremy, since you still have time left, can I ask you a quick question? And why did you pick Bachelor Party over Splash? Because we've got two amazing Tom Hanks movies in this year.
I didn't get down to the S's, so I never seen Splash. But
okay,
I took the risk of going alphabetically, and I got down to the D's basically because there's a lot of B's in this year.
They're completely different movies, so I was just curious if you watched it. Okay,
but I'm pretty sure I would enjoy Bachelor Party more regardless. But still,
maybe.
Amanda, I can answer that question for you. It comes down
to 2 minutes.
Tony Katane and Monique Gabrielle. Those two answers right there is what takes Bachelor Party and moves it over the top.
And an Indian pimp. This being milk.
This be milk.
As I put in the chat, they need to do a new Bachelor Party sequel with Colin Hanks as the lead actor and have Tom Hanks play his father to make sure his Bachelor Party goes right.
That would be amazing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that'd be perfect.
Cal Penn is the pimp.
Yeah.
Oh, Cal Penn could draw on a wall with a pencil and I'd watch it.
He can do anything.
Yeah.
All right. So is anybody taking a minute?
Mm-hmm.
I have to say, it's funny that Nightmare on Elm Street came right before Bachelor Party because when I was a young teen, I went with some friends on a double date and we went to see Bachelor Party. And this was in the day of double features. And we went to see Bachelor Party having no idea what the second film was. So we had just laughed our asses off in the middle of Bachelor Party, thinking this was the funniest thing, taking an electric razor to his wrists and all this stuff. It was so funny. And then the next thing we know, we see this goat running across in blood and and it was like, the hell are we watching? And I honestly
amazing.
Can say, aside from seeing Phantasm as a kid, a younger kid, I had never seen a film as a young adult that had scared me, and just not being prepared for Nightmare on Elm Street. I remember sitting there in the theater thinking, holy crap, what is this we're watching? It was great. Nightmare on Elm Street affected me differently. And because it did it as a young adult, it sticks with me.
Well, just to make a lot of people in this podcast feel older, when these movies came out, I was still a sperm in a test tube. So yeah.
Oh, well.
Bite me.
Don't tempt me.
So
I agree. Bite me. But I want to say that between Splash and Bachelor Party, I think Splash was good, but I think for what it is, they're not the same kind of movie.
Right.
But I think that Bachelor Party was funnier than Splash was whatever it needed to be.
Romantical.
Eugene Levy stole Splash.
Well, yes,
John
exactly. Eugene Levy elevated Splash quite a bit.
He does everything.
Yeah,
I think John Candy did.
Yeah,
his Swedish professor.
Yeah, the part of the bar. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, the Swedish professor.
So can I use half of my minute just to say one quick thing to piggyback off Rod? The 80s did this amazing thing in movie theaters or at drive-ins, like what Rod's talking about, where they put movies together that made absolutely no sense. I remember we went to the drive-in and I was a kid. We're watching House Party, and then they follow it with RoboCop. In what universe do those two movies even go together? Just like what
Yeah.
Rod said. God, I miss the 80s.
I think it's the same people that put Madonna and the Beastie Boys on one ticket.
Right.
One of the things
That's
I
a big
think they
thing,
were
and-
doing was parents would bring kids to the movies at the drive-in.
In the
And
trunk.
I think what they
them
were
in.
thinking
Yeah.
was the kids would fall asleep
Yes.
and then there'd be a more adult movie second. So I saw a lot of adult movies because I didn't sleep.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Same here.
I
You
mean,
play Nightmare and your
staying
kid
awake.
never goes to sleep.
Woke
Just
up
to make
in
her-
the middle of watching Billy Jack kick the shit out of people with flour bags over their heads. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, just to make you all feel old again. I've never been to a
Ugh.
drive-in. They don't exist anymore.
Sure they
Yes,
do.
They
they
do
do.
here in Cincinnati. We have
They-
two.
Not in Massachusetts. They really don't.
We have an amazing one in Fort Worth. I saw Halloween at it in 2020 and I was,
Oh,
God, it
man.
was a bucket list. Check it off.
Halloween at a drive-in, that would be
That would have to be
that would
really
be
good.
creepy.
It
Yeah.
was legit.
I think we still have one in Denver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The last
we got
movie
one
I
down
remember
here in
seeing at a
South
drive-in
Highway
was
21.
Batman with Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson.
Nice.
It was slightly rainy. It was drizzling at Oakley Drive-In.
Was it Purple Rain?
Dance?
It was not purple.
Well,
did not
some
Batman.
places they're making a comeback. Like there are a lot of retro movie theaters. Like we have one called Alamo Draft House where they do like movie parties and old movie showings and all this stuff. And then the drive-in is the same thing. They show new movies, but it's really about re-experiencing the drive-in for people like our age or whatever. So
Yeah, the nostalgia.
Yeah.
We have an
Yeah,
Alamo
the-
Draft House here too.
I cannot say enough good things about Alamo Draft House. Anyway.
There was
Right.
a pop-up drive-in theater that popped up in the Phoenix area actually during COVID, just to keep people separated, and it was
Right.
they did brilliant
I think
business. They found
COVID,
this
yeah.
rock quarry and set it up, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, COVID revived the drive-in.
Right.
Mhm.
Sort of a
I'm here
renaissance.
for it. It was my
That's
favorite
really
thing as a
it.
kid.
Yeah.
Well, now we got Big Bill,
Yep, Bill
the
Allen.
moment we've been waiting for.
Real quick, Jeremy, if
Sorry.
you come to Cincinnati in the summer, we will take you to the drive-in.
As long as you don't mind having a wife and two kids come along, then sure.
You got to stand.
Hey,
You just got to
we'll
ride.
rent a van.
You got to ride in the trunk because they
Yes.
go by the number of people in the car.
Yeah.
So.
Yes.
Yeah. So at least
the
Raise your
the
hand
one
if
or
you
two
did that.
people have to ride in the trunk.
The kids can ride in the trunk. I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Bill.
Anyway,
So
We'll rent a van and park it backwards. That's what we
Flintstone.
used to do when we first got married. We had a van.
Flintstone style.
Hmm.
I was
Okay.
thinking back
a pickup is
1984.
where it's at.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I was thinking back to 1984, and I was thinking, what, as a junior in high school, were the things that I wanted in a movie? Normally, it was just boobs, broads, and blood. If I had all three of those, then I was good to go. Bachelor Party came out, which was tied for my thing. But I'm actually going to take one that goes a little off the board because it made me laugh, and I still use it today in my life. I'm going to go with Teachers, with Nick Nolte, Judd Hirsch, Morgan Freeman.
Oh, yeah.
Richard Mulligan. You had a young Laura Dern coming in there. Joe Beth Williams. If you're talking about a star-studded cast for the 80s in a movie, then that would be it. But just for the simple fact of, I have a guy today that makes so many copies that I actually call him Ditto in the school classroom. So it is a riot. I mean, I have a Ditto. You had a young Ralph Macchio coming on there. You had George McFly in the movie. I mean, it had all the things you wanted. It made you laugh. Just the acting was superb. I can't say enough about the movie. It's probably one of the few on my list that doesn't actually hit those kind of things that I was thinking about in a 1980s film. But it's just one that stood the test of time with me that I can put it on today and still like it. So yeah, that's my pick is Teachers.
Cool. I forgot to hit the timer, so you
That's
got
okay.
a minute 45 left.
Well, and for the uninitiated, Bill is a teacher, so I can see the connection there.
Hmm.
So when people always say that children are the future, they're lying.
Oh, God, yes. God,
I
yes.
teach them and mold
Some of them are, but not all of them.
If children are the future, I fear for the future of this world. Just saying.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Just for
These
my
kids
kids.
are kind of like children of the corn. They'll stab you to death if you say anything or do anything against Bill. So,
But I wish I could do stuff like when Richard Mulligan dresses in all the costumes and does a social studies class and sits there and has that going on. And when you have Nick Nolte coming in there saying, you know what, today we're going to fix the radiator and have everybody around. It's yeah. So teachers.
Yeah. Bill, what do you teach?
I'm a social studies teacher, and the ones I'm actually teaching this year, the classes I got is economics and government. But I've taught U.S. history, world history, psychology, sociology. I've pretty much hit this fall.
All those ologies.
I don't
In
see
high
why
school?
you dress up in costumes.
Yep.
Why not?
One, the way that the classroom is today, you just don't get a chance to be that creative, and stuff with all the stuff going on in the world has so much effect. The outside affects the inside so much. It's like you wouldn't think a Nerf dart gun would be anything, but you have a Nerf dart gun and all of a sudden it's over with. So, stuff you used to do when we'd do stuff with World War I and trench warfare, and you can't do that kind of stuff, act it out and have fun, that kind of stuff, just because of all the outside forces that are.
Glad you're not in Texas. It is a shit show here of the highest order. Like, if my kids were still school age, they'd be homeschooled now, and I hate homeschooling.
Well, Bill, I could see you dressing as Bill Clinton and pulling it off. So bringing a saxophone to class.
I played the piano growing up, so
saxophone. It's not what I thought you were going with.
Well,
I didn't know you played piano, Bill.
Cigars aren't allowed in the classroom.
Right.
Good choice.
Yeah, Mike.
All right. So, I think I'm actually I think I'm going to take the Terminator. So I think that this film I think that this film, like, people do tend to say that Terminator 2 is better. I actually tend to think that both of those movies are part of the same story arc. And upon rewatching the Terminator in preparation for this, I just found that I liked it even more than I remembered it, and I've always liked that movie. And I wanted to read a James Cameron quote on this film because I think it's interesting, and I think it speaks to how it's still culturally relevant today. So it says, the Terminator films are not really about the human race getting killed off by future machines. They're about us losing touch with our own humanity and becoming machines, which allows us to kill and brutalize each other. Cops think all non-cops are as less than they are, stupid, weak, and evil. They dehumanize the people they are sworn to protect and desensitize themselves in order to do that job. And I think, we live in this culture now, and we're seeing sort of AI sort of really starting to take off and do interesting things. And I think a lot of people think of AI technology as having potential problems, and I really think it's more about how do we use that technology, and then what purposes are it serving. And I think in the Terminator movies, if you notice, like the first person killed in each movie is a black man by a cop. I mean, in the second one, it's the villain, the T-1000. But and it's really sort of a sort of commentary on police violence. And I think that there are just better ways to motivate human behavior than constantly sort of using this sort of authoritarian sort of way of motivating behavior. And I think looking at sort of some of the things that came up during protests in 2020 about defunding police and that sort of thing, I think that movie speaks to some of those things way ahead of a time that a lot of people were talking about that stuff. And so I think I just think that movie, and also it's just in terms of gore and violence, it does a lot of things that are ahead of its time in the filmmaking as well. So that's my pick.
Right on point, like as always.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
also,
I wasn't even going to vote for this, and now I'm like, shit, that's the best movie of '84.
But I mean, though, it wasn't really a cop. It was a freaking robot from the future. Like, you can't say it was a cop just because he dressed like a cop. I mean, that was just the easiest way for him to get around and do what he wanted to do. I mean,
it's a
symbolism. It's still about authoritative figures.
Well,
like,
and I mean, and I hate to say it, but the black guy dying first is horror movie tropes 101.
And happened in Gremlins too.
Scary movie freaking called it. Like, the black guy dies first. Like, that's just the way horror movies have been forever.
Yeah, it's like definitely a trope.
Well, I'm not going to go that deep into it. I'm just going to look at it as I'll be back. I mean, how many movies stolen that line and have
Come with me
used
if you
it
want to
throughout
live.
history? But
Oh my
even
God.
before that, him going into the cop station and just shooting up the whole cop station was by far one of the best scenes ever in any movie. I mean, that's one of the best scenes ever.
Yeah.
I'll say that Terminator, I know that they say, as you had pointed out, Mike, T2 being, the best of them. We wouldn't have had T2 if it wasn't for Terminator. And honestly,
Yeah.
the concept itself was so highbrow at the time. I think you had said nobody had given us anything like that before. The concept itself was so incredible. It's like saying that Aliens is better than Alien. We would have never had Aliens without Alien. And I mean, they stand alone so nicely. But man, Terminator is just such a masterpiece. And everything that it gave us, and the conversation that it started. Even Stephen King gave a nod to it in his Dark Tower series, where he talks about a cop seeing it for the first time in the theater and have a heart attack because he recognizes the Terminator as Roland. But that was my number one. I don't even mind you taking it from me, but because it belongs there.
You can still vote
what a
for
great
it.
film.
Right. You can vote for it, number one. That's the beauty of it. Even if someone took your pick,
I'll
you
be
you
back.
still vote for it.
It was tied for my number one.
I'll say that I like Terminator better than Terminator 2, mostly because there's less Arnold talking in Terminator. But yeah,
we're gonna fight. I swear to God.
Good movie. I'm not taking away from Terminator, but yeah, the less Arnold talking, the better, I think.
Dude.
Well, I think it's interesting because
Taken in small doses.
I think it depends on when you saw it, because Terminator 2 came out when I was a young teenager, and so it's a little different. But I think the concept of, in the Terminator, he is the bad guy, but is he really a bad guy because he's doing what the future sent him back to do? But then because of the way things change in Terminator 2, he all of a sudden becomes the good guy. And to me, it's like the butterfly effect. Like, yes, we have this future that's already sort of predetermined or whatever. The robots are going to take over, but we as humans still have the opportunity to change that if we do the right thing. And that's what I like about those two movies, like, together.
Question though, what do you think about Terminator Dark Fate erasing everything after T2?
I hate all the other movies except the first two, so don't ask me.
You don't like Dark Fate?
No, I think they're all stupid.
Oh my God, the newest one with old Arnold?
I haven't watched it.
Watch it.
I
Oh my
actually
God.
didn't hate it. I thought it was fine, but I do think that Sarah Connor Chronicles belongs in that lineage, and it always gets left out.
Yeah,
the TV series.
Yeah.
It was better than people give it credit for.
It was, but I mean, Terminator Dark Fate was the best one.
Yeah, it was good at the time.
Terminator
Shout
Dark Fate
out to
was the
Linda
best
Hamilton for being a fucking badass woman in the 90s and showing that we are not weak and incapable.
Then Sigourney Weaver, man, they set the bar.
Yes, they really did. They really
Agreed.
did.
But watch Dark Fate then, because Sarah Connor's back.
Okay.
Yeah, she kicks ass.
Yep, 100%.
And just to add on that Linda Hamilton comment, have any of you guys watched Resident Alien?
No. Oh,
on
yes.
Sci-Fi?
Yes, I love that fucking show. I love it.
I do too. Number one, Alan Tudyk, come on now. But like, Linda Hamilton has a part on the last couple seasons, and she's just amazing. I still love her. She's still a badass.
Yes. 100%.
Okay. Do not spoil it, because I love that show and I haven't seen anything past the second season.
Me either, but still.
Okay, well, get with it. Get on it.
You also gotta love Linda Hamilton for letting James Cameron make her career and then her divorcing him and saying, bye, bitch.
Yep.
Hey, Catherine
He's
Bigelow
boss.
did the same thing and came out pretty good after that. So
when Catherine Bigelow beat him at the Oscars for Best Director, I stood up and screamed. I was so excited. Sorry.
No,
she deserved it.
I apologize for.
Yeah, Hurt Locker was better than Avatar. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I would say that that in terms of James Cameron films, I think the Terminators are really his. I didn't really like. I'm not a fan of the Avatar movies personally, and I think that,
Me either.
like, a lot of stuff he did in the 1980s was not that great, but what he did in the 1980s was super inventive. Yeah, so
You wait a minute, Mike. You want to talk about Terminator? Talking about news topics, and before they happened, Avatar did the same thing. It talked about the world or the U.S. invading other countries they don't need to take things. Like
it was just kind of bloated, and I think I don't know. It just to me it needed a lot more editing than it got.
Yeah.
So that's just personal.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was good political commentary.
I wasn't a fan of Avatar, but I only saw it on TV in 2D. I didn't see it.
That's why.
Yeah.
It looked like a video game.
Avatar visual.
But if the story was any good, it would have been good that way.
Exactly.
Right. It was good.
Avatar visually is stunning, but like long movies for the sake of being long, gratuitous movies just annoy me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, it seemed like a video game cut screen, but I didn't see it, so I don't want to be dismissive. But I am.
The video game was amazing. I'll say that though.
Yeah. One more thing about Terminator. I thought the future part had cheesy effects. The laser beams being shot.
It was the 80s.
So it hasn't aged.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't like explosions where there's sparks coming off of them, because I know if there's sparks coming off of them, it's not a real explosion. I see that, and that's like, like original Star Wars and stuff.
I'm looking back to the Future Part 2, and then really what 2015 looked like. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Nowhere near close.
Yeah.
We're still not there.
Didn't we pass the future date for the Terminator also?
I mean, that's like Jetsons.
Judgment
too,
Day, yeah.
Remember. Yeah.
That's like Jetsons too, though, man. Like 2020 is not flying cars and shit. Like, come on.
yeah, but in the newest Terminator, they adjusted the date.
Exactly.
Every show changes the judgment date. It moves it further into the future.
Changing the date. Yeah.
Right.
They retcon it constantly. That's a good thing.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's stupid. Okay. Anyway.
Retcons
Well, that does set it up for future movies.
All right, so I'm going to have to go. I have other movies I would prefer to nominate, but I'm going to have to go with my number one. I feel like maybe it may have been nominated by someone further down on the list based on the comments that we had in the thread, but I'm going to have to go with a movie that Aaron basically shat all over, and that's Once Upon a Time in America. Love that movie. It looks fantastic. I love period pieces to begin with. I mean, not so much futuristic, but like, the 30s gangster movies set, back in the 30s and 20s, The Godfather, this film, this type of films. I love Sergio Leone was the director. He did the Westerns, the spaghetti Westerns, Fistful of Dollars, A Few Dollars More, Good, Bad, and the Ugly. I love the soundtrack, Ennio Morricone. Of course, it has James Woods and Robert De Niro portraying a couple of Jewish gangsters, and basically it's kind of a slice of life, seasoned with doses of violence here and there. Of course, it is long. It's a commitment. I know when the movie was put out, it was originally put out in a condensed version that Siskel and Ebert trashed, and kind of urged people to watch the full version. And I think that you really have to commit to it. It's not for everyone, obviously. But I think it's kind of a masterful work of cinema. And there's backstories to that too. Like De Niro did not want the role originally. James Woods had to campaign for it with Leone. He impressed Leone quite a bit, and there are fun facts associated with that. But I'm out of time.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to make sure I got it on there.
Mm-hmm. And it had a great score.
Yeah, my number one overall.
I don't know if I've ever seen Once Upon a Time in America. I
haven't seen it.
I can't remember if I ever have. It was too far down the list for me to get to. Which, if we do this again for 85, I'm definitely gonna start ahead of time and definitely devote more time to it. But like, I would have got like at least 7 to 8 more movies done this week. It wasn't for the damn dog needing to go to the hospital like 3 days in a row. But yeah, I as Amanda saw when I put him up on the screen at the beginning of this, but he's now in a cone. But I mean, yeah, I thought you were going to say The Bounty, Phil. I was all excited you were going to say The Bounty.
Well, it's down. It moved up. It placed. It was in my top 15, I guess, and I just saw it last night. It was a very good movie. Very good movie.
I'll watch it.
Amazing movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say that I too enjoyed Once Upon a Time in America. Okay.
All right, I'll watch it tonight.
I'm watching
It's a
Cocaine Bear
commitment.
tonight, but I'll watch
What,
it.
Amanda?
I'm watching Cocaine Bear tonight, but I'll
Ooh,
put
I
Once
wanna
Upon a
see
Time in
that.
America. It's on
What-
Paramount now.
What is
Or
George doing
Peacock.
tonight? What is George doing tonight?
He's not here. It's all me, baby.
Bill, you did leave out.
I'll
You
say-
had an underrated actress too, Elizabeth McGovern. She was good. I mean, she was in that, and also another one that I Racing with the Moon, who I have in my top 15. I mean, she's a very good actress.
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah.
All right. Elizabeth McGovern was good in that, but it was very long, very dull. I did not buy De Niro and James Woods as Jewish gangsters. I had high hopes and was just let down. That's all.
I think if you consider the great
I could see
mafia
that.
operas of the age, it just doesn't hold up. I mean, again, everything from Godfather Part 2. Godfather 1's great, but 2's better. The one thing I will give it is it was sort of a
Yes.
that's another conversation.
Yeah.
And it was only 2 movies, there's no third.
But my ass.
And that's the fact that I think it serves as sort of a link in the chain between that 30s gangster era and then the one that really hit with mafia cinema in the 90s when you had Goodfellas and Casino,
Yeah.
Donnie Brasco. So I think it has its place as a bridge, but to Aaron's point, I think it was a bit bloated. I do think that, the commercial cut that we got in the US is a different movie, but even the whole movie, like I said, there were times that I was it was like The Irishman. I don't know if you saw that. It was times I was like, okay, I get it. Let's go. Good
A little
performances,
much.
though.
Yeah.
Good performances though.
Editing.
We actually just did top 5 mob movies on my show. That was my newest episode, if anybody's interested.
Oh, yes.
Because Phil, I'm with you. The 20s, 30s, 40s era of like that kind of time frame of film or like storyline is my favorite too. So
Yeah. It's just visually stunning. Usually,
Yes.
usually when it's done right.
Well, now
Cars,
did
the
Once Upon a
costumes.
Time make it to your top 5?
I haven't seen it, so no.
Oh, okay.
But I'll watch it.
Well, you're forgetting about Road to Perdition.
Road to Perdition was interesting. Yeah, I actually really enjoyed it more than I thought I would. Admittedly, going into it, I was hesitant, but it's a good movie.
It's one of Daniel Craig's first roles, man. It's a freaking amazing movie.
It's a good movie.
Dick Tracy.
Dick Tracy.
Fucking love Dick Tracy. Okay, sorry.
Never seen
Yeah,
it.
I thought they did that well.
Dick
I-
Tracy.
I even
got
thought
it.
Madonna
I
did
did
good
too.
in that.
Yeah, Dick Tracy is very comic booky. It's very
It's supposed to be.
it's
Then I'll-
supposed to be. It's very
then I'll like-
sticky and it's amazing.
Then I'll
Al
like it.
Pacino was
Kinda like-
great in Dick Tracy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Everybody was great in Dick Tracy.
I just
Yeah,
gotta
they
say,
even got a good performance out of Madonna.
I gotta say, I got Amanda to gasp when I haven't seen something, and that's my goal for every podcast I'm on with her. So yay.
Warren Beatty is also one of those guys that his name doesn't come up in those great actor conversations often, but he's always pretty good in everything. he's in.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of low key A-list.
Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah.
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 Bowfinger or Bullworth. Is it
Bullworth,
Bowfinger
yeah,
or
Bullworth.
Bullworth?
Bullworth.
Yeah,
There
Bullworth
you
is
go.
really good.
I always
Yeah.
mix those up.
I gotta see that.
So
see.
Rod.
Rod.
All right.
You should have let Rod have Nightmare on Elm Street. Because there's Rod. Okay.
Yes. So I'm going with a man. I feel like this one is just, it's underrated. It's gotten lost in time, unfortunately. And I feel like, man, I'm going to use up my 2 minutes just introducing it. Who didn't want to join the frontier and face the Zur and the Code on Armada as a kid? To me, The Last Starfighter it encapsulated so much. Alex Rogan was my hero. And most people don't even know that name anymore, but I feel like that's one of the few movies that if I heard it was getting a remake, I might be okay, just because I feel like a new generation of gamers would fall in love with the concept of being chosen because they were good at something. And I think so many kids are told, you're wasting your time doing this, you're wasting your time doing that. And then to suddenly be told that you're a hero or you could be a hero because you're good at this. Man, it captured my imagination, and it's stuck with me for decades.
Well, Rod, I've never seen it, but it did get a remake in a way.
Ready Player One.
Yes, Ready Player One kind of was the remake of it.
Yeah.
Oh, but the movie.
The remake of the concept.
I would have to
Right.
disagree with that specifically because I mean, I was going to bring up a movie that was seemingly like a remake of The Last Starfighter, but only slightly different, and that was Ender's Game.
Yeah, Ender's Game.
Yeah, kind
Or
of.
Ender's Game, I would say, yeah. But I love Ready Player One, and I read both books, so
I'm ready for the second movie.
Oh, me too. If you guys liked Ready Player One, by the way, I'll plug my book. Endgame is kind of like Ready Player One on steroids. So
it's really good.
Yeah.
And you can listen to Starfighter, you had the series The Future Man. That kind of reminds those two go together. That absolutely die laughing Future Man.
Yes, that was good.
And there was a show on Cartoon Network back in the late 2010s called Level Up that was kind of the same concept.
Okay.
I do feel that Ready Player One and the other one, Ender's Game, have more social and sociological and than Last Starfighter. Last Starfighter is kind of more pure, if you will.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I don't think the
I can agree. I can agree with that. I was just comparing Ender's Game more on the fact that like with them having their training and then all of a sudden it's for like instead of drones, it's like actual fighters like going out and doing the mission. But yeah, no, I get your point there about the social commentary.
Yeah. And like the whole thing, the philosophy that makes Ender the star of the show, so to speak, is kind of show no mercy, you know, in a sense, because, and that's how I was raised. My dad was a Marine and I was raised, you have to go hard because you are the girl and you're weaker. And when I was 7, he said, well, you're going to be pretty, so let's start training you on how to kill people.
No mercy.
By the time I was 8, I knew how to kill a person with a pen, a pencil, car keys.
Your thumb.
Well, yeah, that's
kindness.
That's, you know,
kindness, right?
Shoving a thumb into someone's eye will disrupt them, but it's not going to kill them.
It's making it intimidating for
But
me to tell you the minutes
take a
up.
pen if you shove a pen in your eye. And also, I was trying to carry a pen.
And also, Aaron.
Because if you go to court and they say,
give her another minute.
why were you carrying a pencil? It's like, it's a pencil. You weren't looking for trouble, but they could say, if you're carrying a knife, they could say you're looking for trouble.
In case you were wondering
And
what
the
Friday
moral
nights
of
are
the
like.
story is, Phil, don't step out of line.
Yeah. Sleep with one eye open, bro.
He actually did once.
I
And
keep
keep the
the
pencils
sharp
dull.
instruments away from her as best I can.
Yeah.
If Phil
Well,
shows up
that's
for
because I
1985,
accidentally stabbed myself the most.
In
Phil,
the age
moral
of true
is don't let
crime,
her
y'all
watch
better
John
not be
Wick.
crossing any of us. Just saying.
Exactly.
What'd you say, Bill?
The moral is don't let your wife watch any John Wick films.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I'm definitely watching the John Wick films.
Oh, dude.
I love the John Wick
I
films.
haven't. I
They're
want to
great.
see the 4th one, but I want to see all the others first. So I got to get there.
Oh, they're fun. Yeah.
But I'm a big fan of, like, in video games when they win the award for using non-weapon items, like, you know, a chair or something like that, and they get well, you know, just that they get points for using things that aren't weapons against the enemy.
Yeah. Aaron, you're losing control here.
I know.
You need
I
to
was afraid she'd kill me with a
pen.
pencil if I told her that her time was up.
Okay, I'm done. Sorry.
And Bill,
Anybody
just
else
Bi-
want a minute on Last Starfighter?
I never seen the movie, but Bill, I'll just say my wife watches nothing but horror movies, so she's got 1,000 ways to kill me, and I get threatened to have my junk put into a pickle jar multiple times a day. So
Jeremy, if she doesn't watch true crime, you're safe. Horror movies does nothing for you except show you how to kill people. If you don't know how to cover it up and get away with it, it's useless.
She watches enough true crime too. Trust me.
Okay.
She tells me she tells me all the time I can get away with murdering you without issue.
So the ID channel is more of like an instructional thing for you.
It
Amanda.
is.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a reason
I
to
like
podcast
the,
on it.
I like the cozy murder mystery section of the library for that.
Noshka of the Valley of the Wind is my
What?
selection.
Aaron with the deep
You're gonna
cut.
go there. Okay.
Yeah, I had 3 A
I kinda knew he
pluses, and
was.
this was one of them. Yeah, I kind of said that on the the preview episode or review episode or whatever we were calling
Yeah,
it.
you did. You did. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was watching it again last night / this morning, and yeah, you can see all the influences on it and the influences it's had on other things. It's influenced by the Seven Samurai. You can see its influences in a bunch. Avatar: The Last Airbenders. It wouldn't exist without any of this. But anyway, it gave me a sense of wonder the whole way through. Has a cool environmental conservation sort of message to it, and it directly led to the creation of Studio Ghibli. It's a Miyazaki film, animated. I guess I should probably mention all that. I never thought I'd be picking an anime movie out of the 1984s, but there it is.
Well, Aaron, all I gotta say is I'm coming to visit you for a week at some point, and we're watching all the Studio Ghibli movies together. Because I need to get introduced to this world, and I need someone who's an expert to fucking introduce me to it. So,
yeah, my son.
Start with My Neighbor Totoro.
There you go.
So
this one.
I go in chronological order if I watch anything, but
If you want to be utterly depressed, watch Grave of the Fireflies.
I was just going to say that. Thank you, William.
That is
one's a
just
downer.
crushing. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a recommendation.
I almost beat you to that one, Aaron, because I really like this movie too. And it's got like a personal, so my best friend died of a heart attack in October of 21, and he loved that movie so much that he named his daughter Nausicaa.
I'm sorry.
And no worries. I mean, it's
beautiful.
Yeah, and so there's this beautiful 8-year-old girl that I know pretty well whose name is Nausicaa, and that movie is has a real message, kind of about climate change and things. I mean, I think it was sort of in response to sort of nuclear threat in the 80s, but you can use it either way as sort of this big apocalyptic thing, and how people need to cooperate through that to survive it. And so I think it's just really ahead of its maybe not ahead of its time is the best way to describe it, because it's of that time too, but it's just an interesting film. Also has an interesting story in that the original dubbing was not supported by the director, so the 2005 version is sort of in the Americas is sort of considered the one to watch here. But yeah, it's a cool flick. So
I'll just say that my son would not let me watch the dubbed version. It had to be Japanese with the subs.
Yeah,
I can't do that. I can't do that.
I love reading TV.
Subs all the way.
There's an area that's called two different things. In the subs, it's the Sea of Decay, and in the dubs, it's the Toxic Jungle.
So, Aaron,
that is very different.
I haven't seen this, and anime isn't really my jam, although my kid loves
Not
it.
mine either. Yeah.
I really just want to take like 20 seconds to say that your voice should be like an ASMR thing.
Am I putting you to sleep?
No, I don't mean it in a good way. In a good way. Your voice is so soothing. Like I can hear you reading those stories, like where you listen to them at night to fall. Not in a boring way, in a soothing way. I mean that as a compliment. Okay. I'm just like, oh, his voice is so soothing. I'm like, oh,
Aaron.
Okay,
Aaron,
anyway.
you need to put out a podcast reading 50 Shades of Grey. She's saying.
Well, I don't know. Maybe. That took a weird turn. I'm just saying your voice is very soothing. That would be like a good outlet for you to make some extra money. People do it all the time.
Yeah.
Right on.
Well, Aaron and
I
I
don't disagree.
Aaron and
Very
I
soothing.
Aaron and I have done a couple podcasts without Lisa, and it kind of sounds like two
Soothe
people
the
in an
shit out of
opium
us.
den or something. It's just like all low key and slow, but
No,
Lisa
Aaron,
can
that was
offset that.
100%
Phil and
a
I
compliment. I
outslowing
hope you
each
know
other.
that.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll take it that way. Anybody have anything on Nausicaa? Probably nobody, but Mike and I have seen it. So.
Never
I'm
seen
sad
it.
I haven't. I love anime and I have not seen it, but now it's on my list. So
excellent.
Yeah.
I intended to, but sadly
We didn't get
to
the
it.
time.
Yeah,
It's really
he probably
considered-
ended up with the inferior, dub version anyway, and we'd watch two different movies.
Yeah, I'm not a big anime guy, but I do like some of the better ones that exist, and it's widely
that's where I'm
credited.
at. I'm not a big anime guy. Didn't expect,
It's
I
widely
added
credited.
3 Japanese movies of my sons into that were 1984s, and I didn't expect one of them to come out on top.
Yeah, it's considered though to be a big influence on the anime genre, like later on, like that it's considered one of those really groundbreaking movies. Two people that make anime, I know that. So yeah.
Just watching it, if you've seen any Avatar: The Last Airbender, it all steals directly from this.
You need to have Kevin Stoner on this episode, because he would have freaking been
yeah.
right. He would have been right beside you, being like, yes, like yes, anime.
Except Kevin wasn't born when any of these movies came out, so just have him on an anime episode.
That I'm not, I haven't seen more than 3 or 4 anime movies probably, and they're all Studio Ghibli's or this one, which is technically 3.
I would have loved to have invited Kevin, but we're getting around, we're just meeting you folks. So we're kind of getting around to you, but yeah, definitely.
Oh,
Kevin's
he was
good people.
He was on the Halloween songs bracket episode with you. So
right.
Yeah, he was on an episode with me too.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
invited Harvey for this, but I guess he couldn't make it. But yeah,
Harvey's wife doesn't like him doing weekend podcasting.
Ah, I see. Okay.
He podcasts a lot.
He does.
I can see why. He looks like a good guest. I mean, he brings a lot of energy.
Oh,
He
he's the freaking man.
He's
Harvey's
really cool.
the man.
Sexual chocolate.
Aaron's
Exactly.
gonna like it.
Exactly.
We're gonna do a
Lisa's.
moonlighting episode.
Mhm.
Oh, cool.
Okay. I'm kind of a little bit torn between Places in the Heart and Indiana Jones. I'm gonna go with Places in the Heart.
Good choice.
I mean, it just grabs your heart. I mean, sure, Indiana Jones has that moment when he, they're getting ready to do the fight, and he's got the whip out, and he just pulls out a gun and shoots the guy. That is so good, and it was completely unplanned because Harrison had the flu. The day they were shooting, and he had the flu, and he just didn't have the energy to do the big fight that was planned. So he just pulled out the gun.
Brilliant.
Yeah, but Places in the Heart just grabbed me. I mean, the social commentary, the racism, the way they just, they're telling this woman she has to let someone else raise her kids because her husband died. And it's the commentary on women being in such a subservient position. It all just, yeah.
And Sally Field, Jesus.
Oh yeah, she got the
can't
Oscar.
go wrong.
She deserved the Oscar for that. And I often find that sometimes the Oscars will give the Oscar to one person this year, and then the next year they do a movie that isn't quite as good, and they get the Oscar for the second movie. Whereas really they did so well with the first movie, but somebody else did as well. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So Sally really did get the Oscar for the movie she should.
She should have got it for Mrs. Doubtfire, just saying, but yeah.
Oh
Well,
my gosh.
She
But
got
that
one for
comes
this
after
and one
Places
for, she
in
got
the
one for
Heart.
Norma Ray too, right?
Punchline.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
yeah. Did she get one for Norma Ray? Was that?
That's the one. That was the one where she said, "You like me. You really like me."
You really like me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then they didn't. She didn't get the Oscar for this, but she should have
She
gotten
did get
one.
that. She got this
She
one
She
too.
did. Oh, so she got two.
Yeah, she's not.
Oh,
hurt
I
for
thought
that.
she just got the one. Never mind.
Sally Field deserves all the Oscars. She deserved one for Still
Yes.
Magnolias too.
Yeah.
Smokey and the Bandit.
Yeah.
Come on.
What
Or
about Gidget?
Smokey and the
What's she
Bandit.
wearing
She's so
now?
I was
awesome.
thinking Smokey and the
That
Bandit
would be
too.
an Emmy.
Oh, that's right.
Soap dish? Anybody? No.
Sally Field.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
That movie's
Wait,
That's
great.
a blast from the
who said
past.
that?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
right here,
that
said
was
that.
funny.
Okay, thank you.
the Amazing
Soap
Spider-Man,
dish is amazing.
the Amazing Spider-Man 1 too. Just saying.
Up.
All right. So we got 1 minute going on soap dish. Go ahead.
Soap dish is the best. Oh my freaking god.
Yeah, yeah.
Gosh, I'd forgotten about.
Never heard of it. Never heard of it.
Sorry, Aaron, I didn't mean to open
Two
a can
of
of
them.
worms.
Two of them. Oh.
Jeremy,
Well,
Jeremy, I think you would actually like soap dish.
Then have
I
Meryl
like
Streep also.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, Robert
I
Downey
watched-
Jr., Whoopi Goldberg. Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched the first Meryl Streep movie last night that ever made me not like Meryl Streep, and that was Falling in Love. But
Oh, I haven't seen that.
I haven't seen that either.
it's Robert De Niro and Meryl Streep. But
Yeah,
it was
no.
in 84, all right?
Soap dish,
see the
Kevin
chemistry
Kline,
on that.
Elizabeth Shue. Like
Oh, great cast.
Adventures in
great
Babysitting.
cast.
Oh, I
I
love
love Adventures in Babysitting.
Yes.
Don't fuck with a babysitter.
Mhm.
I just want to
Movie
support Lisa's. I want to support Lisa's pick.
Yes.
Mhm.
No, I'm not going to take a whole minute, but it was my number 2. I felt like it was just, it was like that or Country were kind of similar movies released in the same year, and I thought this was just superior.
Yeah.
Again, it was like a period piece. I thought they nailed that. Danny Glover was excellent in it.
Ed Harris.
It was a knockout movie. I thought it was really
Yeah.
good, superb.
I'm so glad somebody picked it.
Yeah, right. We're getting down to it now.
We are.
Yeah.
Chauncey.
Yeah. I'll just say that too that not just Sally Field, but all the performances in that movie were
Oh,
spectacular.
absolutely.
John Malkovich.
Mhm.
Malkovich. Yeah.
Yeah, Chancey.
come on, Chancy Pants.
All right. Well, a lot of my actual original first choices have already been picked.
Yeah, right.
You're
So
welcome.
I mean, that's fine. Actually, I kind of was going to plan on taking the Nightmare on Elm Street if I went before Casey, just to take it from Casey.
Casey had a good backup, but
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You got to have a good backup. But my
which hasn't
backup
been
got
picked.
picked, and then my third backup got picked.
Yeah, that's why you need 12.
Oh yeah,
13.
I
guess we
got
no, 12.
29 here. I got 29 here. I'm well prepared. I'm going to go with this movie not because of it being any good or anything of that nature, only because that I'm pretty sure out of all the movies on the list, this movie is the only movie that was actually banned while it was in the theaters. Like they pulled it from the theater. And
Black
that is
Devil-
Silent. That
Black
is
Devil
Silent
Dolphin Owl?
Night.
Silent Night, Deadly Night. Woo!
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
like I said, it's not because it's a good movie. Like they pulled it for being this horrific, thing. And then if you rewatch it now, I mean, compared to what they have out there going now, it is
Nothing.
so tame. But
Yeah.
the fact that it's the only movie on the list that actually got pulled in theaters. Like the only other movie that I can think of outside of that is The Interview. And that was so many years later.
You can't villainize Santa.
Well,
Chancey,
Not
coming
until
soon.
Bad Santa.
Coming soon on an evening at the movies.
Silent Night,
Silent
Deadly
Night,
Night.
Deadly Night.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I want to go.
On one.
I want to go.
On one
When you're done.
condition.
What's that?
Chancey has to join. You have to join the show.
Oh, for sure. I'm in.
Well, that was easy.
That was an easy one.
Yeah.
Chancy's usually pretty easy.
Think he's sold.
Yeah,
What is
baby.
it?
And one and
Okay.
We'll podcast.
I want to go with a comment. Okay. Silent Night, Deadly Night. My cousin and I went to the 10 a.m. showing at the theater, and it was the last showing at that theater. We were in there. There were 3 other people in the room. I mean, it was literally 5 people.
Wow.
watching that movie. And then when we came out, there were protesters.
Wow.
Nice.
And we had to actually walk through the protesters to leave the theater. So
You're kind of
Silent Night, Deadly Night.
You're punk
Yeah,
rock, please.
that's
awesome.
right. I'm punk rock or whatever. it
God,
is.
they're acting like you were trying to go to a Planned Parenthood or something.
I know, right?
Like, come on, it's a movie.
My mother used to drive past Planned Parenthood and heckle the people outside.
I would totally do that.
Yeah.
That's an amazing story though for that movie.
Yeah.
That is a good story.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we were, I guess, juniors, and I was a junior. She was a sophomore. Yeah. She had just turned 17 that year, so she was excited. You know.
We might get a pencil.
Yeah,
Anybody-
don't cut off her minute.
Anybody else have a
No, I'm
minute on
done.
Silent Night, Deadly Night?
I love how everybody else has picked movies I haven't
I
seen
do.
yet.
I don't
I
have
will
a
say.
minute for I don't
That's
have a
not our
minute.
fault.
So like when we go into the second round, do all the movies then come back onto the table?
No, we just rank these.
Just the
We
ones
just rank these 1 through 12, and then we have a winner.
Fair enough.
And we'll discuss what didn't make the list.
Yeah.
I got a shitload of those, so yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Thea's got to represent.
Thea.
And
Yeah.
Thea,
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, Theo.
Admin Thea.
you're the anchor here.
Just like Rock and Roll Evan.
Yes. And I'm so happy that nobody has picked my favorite movie of 1984. I, like Lisa, went with emotion on this. I was 7 years old when this movie came out. I have watched this movie, I don't know how many times. I've read the book. I identified with this movie as I got older. I too was a very bookish kid and didn't get along with people real well just because I was kind of an introvert before I found my punk rock self. So I'm going with The Never Ending Story.
Oh, thank you.
I
Because
am
that
going
was-
with The Never Ending Story.
Thank you, Thea.
Tell me what
Yep.
you
It needs to be
Yes.
represented.
So, yeah. So, and talk about a movie that gutted me at 7 years old with the part where Atreyu loses his horse.
Yeah.
And talk about a scene in a movie that will still gut me now at 45 years old. And a movie that leaves that kind of impact, from childhood all through my life. It's my number one.
Yeah.
The Never Ending Story.
I have to rewatch that with my kids because I haven't seen that since I
You
was a
need
kid.
to.
I haven't seen it since I was a kid, and I wasn't that impressed with it when I was a kid. But then again, I
you
was
don't have a
boy.
soul though, so
We know this, Amanda. We know this. Lucifer
yeah, you're
took
not
it
gonna
when I
like
was
it.
five-
You don't have a soul.
Lucifer took
Sophia.
it when I was 5 years old. What do you want?
I'm just backing your pick. You see, I held up an Orin right here. We went 500 miles out of our way visiting Germany. If any of you know the geography of Germany, we were in Leipzig. We went to Munich. Those are not close. So
No.
Lindley could ride Falkor at Filmstadt, Bavaria.
Oh, I love that.
So yes,
Oh, you
and-
got to ride
and
Falcor?
here's my Orin. So there you go.
Another great story.
Cool.
These are kind of stories you can only find on
Yes.
Yes, exactly. And I do gotta say I love the scene in Family Guy where Peter's riding Falcor and like he keeps saying like you're too heavy, Peter, you're too heavy, and then like he eventually collapses to the ground. But that's
So I don't know if anybody watches Stranger Things, but
Yes.
season 3,
Yes.
when they brought
it's
with
brilliant.
Dustin and what's her name,
His
The Never
girlfriend,
Ending
yeah.
Story, and
Susie.
Susie, and they're
Susie,
singing the
Susie, yeah.
song. Like my heart just melted. Like I just started
Oh.
crying. I was like, oh my god.
I was laughing. It was the funniest fucking thing ever.
And when
You're
we went to the
stupid.
studio, the only tour we could get was in German. So we didn't even speak the language.
Oh,
and we
wow.
walk into the room and
Wow.
Lindley starts welling up. And all we heard was something Falcor. And Lindley just nodded and she went over to the
Yep.
It's brilliant. Yeah.
That's
That's
amazing.
one of the best theme songs ever in a movie.
Yes. Limal.
Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah.
If we have time before we finish up, I would love to hear everybody's opinion on the best movie soundtrack from '84.
That's a
Is
good
there
Purple
was-
Rain.
Yeah.
good question.
Well, I'm gonna
Yeah,
tell
Purple
something
Rain.
real quick.
Purple
before
Rain.
we get to that.
Purple Rain.
Stop
Purple
making
Rain was
sense.
amazing. I'm going Footloose.
Okay, I second.
Yeah,
Footloose.
second. I mean, I mean, this Spinal Tap is like bottom of the list, but yeah, I mean,
I
even
gotta
then, you
go
agree
with
the soundtrack
Stop
is
Making
amazing.
Sense.
Yeah.
Stop Making Sense, I think.
Technically speaking, should we really count a concert film for best soundtrack?
I don't think
Yes.
Jeremy thinks
There's a
so. Or no,
soundtrack
who-
album.
Okay.
Yeah, the
well.
album is one of the highest selling albums of all time.
Okay.
and I was not a Prince fan until we did the bracket on Maniacal Musics. Like I never even listened to Prince until that point. So the fact
Purple
that
Rain is an album
crazy.
you don't skip any song.
the fact that I'm saying
No,
Purple
that's
Rain,
true.
Yeah, I
fact
don't
I'm
mean
saying
to shit
Purple
on
Rain.
Purple Rain, but it's not
One
Talking Heads. Stop making sense. That's all.
We had Beverly Hills.
one
Cop.
does not top
Yeah,
the
it's
purple
better.
one.
Another good one. Yeah.
Beverly Hills
Good
Cop
call,
didn't
Rod.
make the list.
Thank you.
It's tough. Man, that's a great question.
I mean,
you know,
Breaking?
Right. So now we take our break, and everybody is going to rank these 12 movies 1 through 12. And when we come back,
Little
and
bit of
anybody that has them, just
drama.
call them out, I guess.
Yeah, can we name movies that are not on the list or?
No, it's we're ranking these 12.
Ah, damn, damn.
But
no,
we will be discussing the movies that didn't make the list.
I was gonna say the fact that Bounty didn't make this list pissed me off to no end.
Mm-hmm.
It's in my top 6.
It was in my top 5. Like fuck.
I
It's a good
actually have
movie,
shown
though.
that movie in my classroom and did stuff on it.
You showed that movie in your classroom with all the fucking nudity in it.
Yes, I did.
I am proud of you, sir. I am proud of you.
These were juniors and seniors, so
Still,
I need the list back, Aaron.
Oh, sorry. I wanted to see where I ranked. There you go.
I mean, the amount of native boobies in that movie like made me a happy man for hours. A happy man for hours.
Yeah,
I am
An
ready.
easily amused human.
Aaron.
I promised
right.
Mike he could go first
I
because
have it on
he
cassette.
might have to
but
cut it
I-
short.
Yeah, sorry,
Go ahead, Mike.
yeah. So, I actually have to leave for band practice here in just a little bit. So, number one, I'm going to do the Terminator.
Uh-huh.
Number 2, Nausicaa in the Valley of the Wind.
Nice.
Number 3, this is Spinal Tap. Number 4, Never Ending Story. 5, Ghostbusters. 6, Nightmare on Elm Street. 7, Once Upon a Time in America. 8, Bachelor Party. 9, The Last Starfighter. 10, Places in the Heart. 11, Teachers, and then 12, Silent Night, Deadly Night.
All right.
All right, thanks, Mike.
And should I just go ahead and say my socials and stuff now, or
Yeah.
okay, so because I got to run after this. So my name is Mike Kilbig. I'm a writer. My first book, Judgment Day and Other White Lies, came out from Madville Publishing in February. February 2022. I'm sorry. February 2021. Sorry. And then or was it 2022? 2022. My bad. Sorry, I'm trying to remember the year. Any case, it's Madville Publishing. That's MADVILLE Publishing. You can get it on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, all the major booksellers. And my website is MikeHilbigWriter.com. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You just look me up, Mike Hilbig. Also in a local band, big fan in Houston. If you're in the Houston area, we're playing April 28th at Trip 6. So that's what I'm leaving early for. Any case, y'all have a great rest of the pod, and I appreciate y'all having me on.
Yeah. Have a good practice.
Mike, I'll look out.
Surprised Suburbia didn't make the list.
Next time I'm in Houston, I'll come check you out.
All right, thank you. All right, well,
And
goodbye, y'all. Oh, go
Mike,
ahead.
we'll definitely hit you. I'll hit you up soon, buddy. I promise.
Yeah, for sure. All right, have a good one, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
You too.
Thank you.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Jeremy actually yawned when you mentioned Once Upon a Time in America. Just
I literally thought, God, this movie goes on forever, and then it said intermission. I said, Jesus Christ, there's another hour.
It's like what's that famous fucking movie?
Citizen Kane.
No, the guy going through
really
the
good.
desert. The guy going through the desert.
Lawrence of Arabia.
Lawrence of
Yeah.
Arabia.
Yeah, like I watched that years ago, and like when it's at intermission, I was like, "Are you fucking serious?"
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Both of those are samples of movies I can't watch.
We're gonna let you go, but we're gonna expect you to actually come back.
Several
Teachers
didn't.
has another underrated soundtrack, by the way.
Which one?
Teachers actually has another underrated soundtrack. Yeah.
Hmm.
38 Special did the song Teachers, the headline song
Nice.
for it too.
We'll be doing a bracket next Oscar season of the best soundtrack song. So on Maniacal Music Musings, anybody who wants to join is more than welcome.
Please hit me up, man. Hit me up.
I'll hit you
We've done it on the SIP list by decade.
Yeah,
Or by not decade.
What
What the fuck is a 10-year?
2000 soundtrack. So
That's a decade, Amanda. That's a decade, Amanda.
Oh, by decade? Okay.
Jesus.
By
By
definition.
decade, yes.
I'm drinking. You're not, for fuck's sake.
Oh, Jesus.
I am drinking. I'm a little drunk.
I'm almost done the bottle. Are you kidding me?
Have water.
I'm on coffee, man.
If I'd known, I would have had rum in my coffee.
So,
No,
Casey, are you
rum,
ready with
Aaron.
your
Rum.
I applaud you, Lisa. I applaud you.
I didn't realize we were going to drink, so.
Oh, you got
It would have been. It actually would have had to have been tequila.
Drinking is
Because
always
we
on the
don't
table.
drink rum.
My show is called the SIP list. I am always drinking.
Right.
With tequila, everybody'd be on the table. That's the problem.
I'm
We're laying on the
Handle my
bar.
tequila.
My-
I'm
my-
a tequila girl.
My wife's just an alcoholic, so whatever. Every podcast.
There's three that were nominated that I didn't see, and I watched or didn't re-see. I watched
Right.
59 movies.
Which three didn't you see, Aaron?
Silent Night, Deadly Night,
Hmm.
Last Starfighter, and Teachers. I didn't
haven't seen
rewatch
Last
Bachelor
Starfighter?
Party.
Last
No.
Starfighter is fantastic.
I never seen it either,
It
so
is.
yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. It's
quintessential 80s.
I mean, number one is obviously Ghostbusters. There's no fucking debate on that.
All right.
This
It all
this
comes
this
together
this-
like a Rubik's Cube.
This is
Yeah.
this is
Bill.
this is Spinal Tap Gift against
A
last place.
solvable
That's for fucking
Rubik's
sure.
Cube. I mean, talking about Ghostbusters, who you gonna call? That's like one of the most iconic lines ever.
It
Anytime
is.
you say who you gonna call, Ghostbusters.
Everybody in or it goes to 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I'll be back.
Didn't Huey Lewis refuse to do the theme for that?
Actually, he
And then-
sued because
think
they
I read that.
plagiarized from him.
Yeah.
Right, but
Yeah,
they first they asked him.
Oh,
He
no
said
doubt.
no. Then they basically stole the music and gave it different words, and yeah, he sued them. And then he
It's
started
different
doing,
enough
Then he
that
started
he
doing.
couldn't have won that.
He
Chancey,
did win, though.
He did win.
Did he?
And then he started
yeah.
doing soundtracks. He started doing the
Queen
Back to the
didn't win
Future.
that shit, and he did. Okay.
Chancey, he said Hugh Lewis in the news, not no doubt.
I was
To be fair, he crushed the Back to the Future soundtrack. I mean, come
Yeah,
on.
he did.
Yeah, he did. For sure.
Okay, am I going or Thea or
Yeah,
who's
Lisa
going?
or Thea, who's ever.
Sorry.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay. Never Ending Story,
Uh huh.
Places in the Heart,
Okay.
Last Starfighter,
All right.
Nightmare on Elm Street,
Okay.
Spinal Tap. This is Spinal Tap.
Mhm.
Yeah. Bachelor Party, Teachers, Terminator, Ghostbusters, Once Upon a Time in America. And now we're at 11. I chose Nausicaa because I haven't seen it. And for 12, I chose Silent Night because I have seen it.
Well done. Well done.
Maybe that was maybe that is the movie I'm thinking of that I watched for Masturbators back in December. Maybe it is.
Masturbators.
That was amazing.
That is a mic
Thank
drop
you.
there.
Yep.
All right, I'm ready.
Thea, what's your number one?
The never ending story.
Yes.
Of course.
Beautifully sung.
Oh.
You need to watch
Nausicaa.
Bachelor. You need to watch Bachelor Party. You need to watch Bachelor Party. I'm just saying.
Yes,
I will
you do.
correct this and watch all of those. I will correct this and watch all of those.
Cool.
Before you
Terminator 4.
blurt out the winner, we got to build up to it though, because this is like a big FU to the Academy of performing arts and scientists.
Nobody picked Beverly Hills Cop. I'm amazed.
Well, so
It was on my list.
It was on my list too.
Casey had Beverly Hills Cop as a close number 1, and I had Karate Kid as a close number 1, and we both had both of those overlapping, but we chose what we chose.
So is our system?
Amen.
Is it completely screwed without those movies on there?
No.
Yes.
I also had a Starman on mine.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, Starman.
I mean,
Gremlins, Dune,
Gremlins.
Romancing the Stone.
I mean-
Romancing the Stone.
I
mean,
love
a lot of good
movies.
Romancing
I
the
thought
Stone.
Children of the Corn was going to be on here.
Purple Rain.
It doesn't hold up
Candles.
in later viewings, in my opinion.
I'm surprised Chancey didn't pick it, honestly.
I
Blame it
almost
on
did.
Rio.
I thought
Such a
somebody would.
sleeper.
Because
Well,
Chancey,
I was
Chancey,
surprised
Wasn't
that
Rio, I
like
saw it
16
at
Candles
drive-in
didn't
double
make it.
feature. Yeah.
Right.
Firestarter.
Amadeus is not on there, and it got all the awards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
There's the
it
middle
was
finger
hard.
right there.
It
Red
was
Dawn.
fucking
Let's take
horrible.
Manhattan.
Oh, that's right.
Fuck the Muppets.
That was the worst.
I love the
Muppet movie of
Muppets.
all.
Fuck you.
That was
I love the
worst.
Muppets
William
too.
was-
I love the
that was
Muppets
a-
too, but past 2000.
That was an
Comment for
offense to the
William. When
Muppets.
you said Starman, red light stop, green light go, yellow light go very, very fast. One of my favorite quotes from any
Yeah.
84 movie.
It's
That's
a
a
brilliant
great
movie.
line.
It was on my list. It just
Starman's
didn't-
my
Oh, it's
number 30.
fantastic. It brings humor. It brings the human condition.
Nobody
It's-
said the fucking Karate Kid.
And also, if you
We
don't
just-
like Karen
yeah,
Allen,
it's
you're
on
just
my
a bad
list,
person.
too.
That's it.
It's true.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Karate
I'm not.
Kid
The
was
Karate
tied
Kid
with
was on my
Ghostbusters
list.
for
I had
number
I had
one.
3
Yeah,
A
mine
pluses. Nausicaa, Spinal Tap, and Karate Kid. Now, I figured
Jeremy,
That's a good
somebody
Muppet
would do
Christmas
Karate
Carol
Kid
is the
and Spinal
best
Tap.
Muppet movie.
No, it's not. It's not the best Christmas Carol movie. I'll
It's the
debate you on
best
that shit.
Muppets movie.
The best Muppet movie is the one with freaking Jason Segel in it.
No, it's Jason
Yes,
Segel,
never-ending
Whatever.
story.
and it's Muppet Christmas
Well,
Carol.
where are we at? Did
No.
you finish your thing, Aaron?
No, I'm still looking for which
Yeah.
ones are on the list.
Some other honorable mentions that I had on my list were like the Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai.
Good
Oh,
one.
that was great.
Oh.
Yeah, that was
I love
funny,
Jeff
but it was
Goldblum.
such a bad movie.
That movie was horrible.
Yeah, but
Oh,
It
that's-
was
it
funny.
was. But Jeff
It was
Goldblum.
fun to
Guilty
be. It
pleasure.
was fun to
Goldblum.
laugh
Fucking
at.
weird.
It's not
It was
Jurassic
more of
Park.
a
It's
laugh
not
Jeff Goldblum.
It's
We're
not
not
Jurassic Park.
ranking.
Goldblum.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's not Jurassic Park. Like
Would never make it into one of my
Hey,
best
Aaron,
movies, but
Aaron.
it definitely is a fun movie.
Yeah,
Aaron, I'm surprised the
I
natural.
put
didn't make your list.
I hate that movie.
Yeah,
Do you really? Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I had.
yes,
Cheesy piece of shit.
exactly. The fact
was
that
fun.
I had the Cotton Club.
the fact that
Yes, the Cotton Club is good.
I didn't
Yeah.
like it, and I love musicals, but I didn't like it.
Red Dawn.
I
Red
also
Dawn.
I also had like
second to last.
Red Dawn.
Chud.
I like Chud.
yeah.
Terrible.
Oh my god.
Chud.
I'm actually surprised 16 Candles didn't make anyone's list.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chud
Shut
left
up.
the
And the
theaters
Magic
early
Flute.
too, but not because people protested.
How did
Yes.
Revenge of the
I had-
Nerds? No
Wait a minute.
Revenge of the Nerds.
I had
No Revenge of the Nerds.
Aaron,
Can we?
Oh my
can we do
god,
a part
Revenge of the
2?
Nerds. I forgot that was 84.
Can we do our
Aaron.
bottom 10, like the worst?
Yes, Bill.
Aaron,
Yes.
Purple Rain was that low on your fucking list,
33.
dude?
Purple Rain belongs in the top 5.
I don't know about that,
Yeah.
but it definitely is top 10.
Yeah.
Jeremy, I have one for you. You said you liked the Nightmare on Elm Street and the premise of going into people's dreams. I'm surprised and you didn't watch Dreamscape with
I
Quaid.
did. I
Okay.
did.
Oh,
was good.
Dreamscape.
That made my list.
I watched it a couple days ago. I wasn't that impressed.
It's good. Oh, I liked it.
I like fuck. I can't think of the movie I'm thinking of, but there's a better movie that's basically the same idea. Dream.
Blood Simple's one that I
Blood Simple, yeah.
First Coen Brothers movie.
The
Yeah.
villain in Dreamscape.
Nobody had Dune?
Well,
Nobody
No,
said
Dune-
Dune.
Not in 1984. Oh, heck no.
Dune is a poor man's Star Wars or Star Trek. That's all it is.
The new one is better. Way
new one's
better.
The soundtrack, though, I don't know.
Well,
the score for Dune
okay.
is really good.
Dune
Okay.
is like Aaron's
But that's
voice.
the only
It's what
thing
you-
that I
fun.
think should be salvaged. The whole thing was
Oh,
I
it
was
was
so
hor-
disappointed.
It was horrible. I had such
Yeah.
high expectations because Kevin Smith loves Dune in 1984. And I had
And
such
no, no
I had such
Indiana
high-
Jones, the Temple of Doom,
Sting's
No,
a
that
terrible
movie's
Starfleet.
garbage.
the
I
Temple
know,
of
right?
Poon.
Amanda, are you ready to do another gasp here? I never seen
Sure.
any Indiana Jones at the first one. There we go.
But you've seen the
Oh my
first one.
God.
But you've seen the first one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We are all on
That's the best one.
Uncultured swine.
And the
I
hey,
say
that's-
that to him all the time.
Son
Right
of a
there, do
motherless
not-
goat.
Yeah,
Not
son of a
reveal-
motherless goat. There you go.
I mean,
And
Okay.
Amanda, I've seen Crystal Skull, so I mean that was a good one. I love
All
Crystal
right.
Skull. It touches on it touches on ancient aliens. I fucking love it.
Young
Fun
Indiana
fact
Jones
about
Adventure,
overestimated the expertise of
another
this
underrated show.
That was,
It is. It is.
Good call,
Yeah.
Rod.
All right. What do we
I had
got?
two honorable mentions that nobody else mentioned. I had like the Brother from Another Planet, only because I performed in Rocky Horror Picture Show for a lot of years, and one of our trailers was always the Brother from Another Planet. And then the other one I have
That
as
was
my
my number
honorable
12.
mention is Repo Man.
I love Repo Man.
My number
All right,
8.
Repo Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
thought
want
that
to
was
see that again, or maybe I never saw it.
that was underrated. That was really good.
Love
Yeah.
Emilio
I have
Those
to
are my
see-
honorable mentions.
I have to
will-
say, I'm surprised Body Double hasn't been mentioned even once by anybody. Body
Yeah.
Double.
Love Body
Yeah, that's
Double.
true.
I
It
couldn't
wasn't that
find
great
it to watch.
It was good, but it wasn't that great. But
I had
It wasn't. It didn't give
Not
me
a
an
top
emotional. You know.
I had Paris, Texas as my third best movie.
You want emotional? Watch The Killing Fields.
I mean,
God.
I
Oh,
don't
that's
want
number
that kind of
13.
emotional. I can
No.
get that on the TV
Killing Fields
news.
11.
Yeah,
I mean-
exactly.
as far as Brother from Another Planet goes, I actually put out a fucking message saying that on a tweet saying that
A twat.
a twat, yeah.
I call it twatty.
Clutter.
What
But-
movie is
It's
that?
clutter.
A brother from Another Planet, Jordan Peele should remake.
Yeah.
Yes.
He would
The
do
Twitter
something.
is the Toxic
Oh, I can
Avenger.
totally see that.
Yeah,
He would
Toxic
do an
Avenger.
amazing job. He would do an amazing job with that movie, Jordan
Okay,
Peele.
I need
I love
Jordan
the Toxic
Peele.
Avenger.
It's a good one.
Jordan Peele
14.
needs to do an adaptation of The Long Walk. I will tweet him every day until I die if he does not do that as a movie.
Tag
You know
me.
what?
Tag me. I will retweet it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to say, tag me. I'll retweet it too. That's
Because I've
brilliant.
tweeted it like 20 times. Jordan
The
Peele,
Long-
Okay,
please fucking do
where
The
can
Long
I
Walk.
experience the long walk?
In the Stephen King book, the
It's a
Skeleton
Stephen
Crew.
King short story.
Yeah,
and it is,
Yeah.
Okay, I
It's
need
in-
to. I'll look at. I'll find it.
It's,
it's
in
the
Skeleton
original
Crew.
Hunger Games.
It's in the
Yes.
skeleton
So what
crew.
was our number one, Aaron?
No.
Okay.
It's it.
All right,
it's in the
Aaron,
book.
you gotta
It's in the box.
present
It's
to
it-
Felix here.
Are we
It's in
the
are
box.
we revealing? I've still got some things I didn't.
Are you
mention.
still ranking movies?
Yes,
No, I've
he is.
ranked.
Was
I've
I
ranked.
wrong,
Okay, let us
Jeremy?
know
Is
when
it
you're
not in
ready,
Skeleton
Aaron.
Crew?
Sorry.
Suburbia I watched like yesterday or the day before, and that's one that's
Okay.
I'd probably rank it higher now. It's just sticking in my head.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen it.
I probably would have ranked it lower, but it ended really strong. It's
Well,
got the music is great in it. It's got the Vandals and TSOL, and it's
Yeah.
it's a
The only
punk,
one
I
that's
love TSOL. That's one of my favorite bands of all time is TSOL.
and it's
Gotcha
one
on
of the
that.
punk kids that it's Flea
Yeah.
as an actor
I
credited
Yep.
as Mike B. the Flea.
I can't get into
Yep.
But Amanda,
What?
the long walk is in the. I mean, Lisa, not Amanda. Sorry. The
Hmm.
long walk is in the Bachman book. If
Yeah.
you can find it, it's in the Bachman books with Rage and two other books.
Well,
Ah,
you
the
can
BS.
you can find the Bachman book pretty easily. Finding it with Rage still in it is hard. So
I
if you
got
have
it.
a copy of that,
I
you
have
need
the
to hold
original,
on to
yeah.
it, which I do.
Lisa, send me your address. I'll let you borrow it. I don't care.
Okay.
Aaron, what were your other
I'm
honorable
gonna see
mentions?
if it's on audio
All of Me
as well.
Steve Martin was amazing in
Oh,
all
that
of
is
it.
a good
All
one.
of me
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
good.
That was good.
Yes.
That was a good movie.
Mhm.
Birdie, I don't think we mentioned today.
Birdie
Oh,
was
yeah, I had that in my top
I haven't seen that
15.
one.
I mean, Passage to India. That was a great film, but
Passage to India, that was
Eh,
more than anything beautifully
You guys want-
shot.
it was
The
it was
cinematography
cinematically
was
nice.
stunning.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys. Casey needs to give out to shout out where he's from
Yeah.
so he can go.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right, let's
sorry, Casey.
do the results, I guess, and then we'll go down.
We're
So
fixing
Casey's number
history here.
one was Casey's number one was This Is Spinal Tap.
Okay.
His number two was Ghostbusters. His number three, The Never-Ending Story. Number four, The Terminator. Number five, Silent Night, Deadly Night. Number six, The Last Starfighter. Number seven, This Is Spinal Tap. Number eight, Bachelor Party. Number nine, Teachers. 10, Once Upon a Time in America. 11, Places in the Heart. 12, Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. Casey, what would
That
you like to
doesn't sound
share
right.
with everybody?
Number one
Did I
should be
get that
Nightmare
right?
on Elm Street. It looks
Number
like
one
Did I
was
mess him up?
Nightmare.
Nightmare. Okay. Nightmare, Ghost, Never. Does it look right after that?
Yeah.
Where's Night?
No, that was the only one because you
I
had
must have typed over it.
Spinal Tap. You had Spinal Tap down.
I
twice.
think Jeremy did that. Jeremy snuck that in there in number one.
Yeah, okay.
I'm glad I went over this because we'd have had a wrong result. All right. So Casey, what are your socials? What would you like to share, promote? This is your time.
An Evening at the Movies drops every Wednesday morning, bright and early. Coming up in the next couple of weeks, we will be starting a month-long tribute to The Wizard of Oz, and we will be discussing the entire month of May. The original movie, Return to Oz, The Wiz, and Oz the Great and Powerful. And then Memorial Day weekend, we will be kicking off a Tom Hanks bracket where we will be crowning the greatest Tom Hanks movie of all time, which will be announced. The winner will be announced on July 9th, which is his birthday, as well.
Seems appropriate.
So check Amanda and I out. Like I said, each and every Wednesday. We're both a part of the I Did Not Make These Rankings podcast network. She can give out the web address for that. Otherwise, I had a great time being here. But you can find us on all forms of social media. Just look up for An Evening at the Movies as well. So that's the easy way of putting all that down.
right.
So again, thanks for having me, guys.
Nice
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. So Thea, what would you like to promote?
Rock and Roll Heaven Pod. We can be found at all your favorite podcasters. I'm Thea. I help run the Facebook. I kind of admin it and do kind of daily posts for the most part, and just support the group. And I love doing it. So Rock and Roll Heaven Pod.
And you contributed the Never-Ending Story to the list. All right. So to review Thea's picks, she had the Never-Ending Story 1. This is Spinal Tap 2, Ghostbusters 3, Last Starfighter 4, Nightmare on Elm Street 5, Once Upon a Time in America 6, Terminator 7, Places in the Heart 8, Bachelor Party 9, Teachers 10, Silent Night, Deadly Night 11, and Nausicaa 12.
Wait. Yep, that's it.
All right.
Take care, everybody. Nice
Bye,
to meet
dear.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Spider-web. Hi, pretty girl.
They're saying hi to you, Bella.
Hello.
Say hi.
You're not saying hi to me.
Say hi.
All right. Got some more socials.
Oh, can
Yeah,
I
who
go
do we-
next? Because my headset's
Yes.
about to die.
Yes, yes.
I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay.
It's yelled at me like 6 times. Thank you for having me. This was so much fun. I am host of the Sip List podcast, which is a top 5 show. And I also co-host An Evening at the Movies with Casey and Crime Rewind with my friend Shanna, which is a true crime podcast. So if you're interested in any of those, check those out.
All right.
Cool.
All right.
Thanks,
Amanda.
so much,
Thank
Amanda.
you.
Nice to finally meet you.
Amanda.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Her
coming
picks
on.
were
Thank you.
Thanks again. Ghostbusters, Nightmare on Elm Street. No, hold on.
That's right.
Ghostbusters, Nightmare on Elm Street, Never-Ending Story, Places in the Heart, Last Starfighter, Silent Night, Deadly Night, Bachelor Party, Terminator,
What was that?
Spinal Tap, Teachers, Once Upon a Time in America, and Nausicaa. In
Yep.
that order.
That's her legacy.
All right.
Permanent
Thank you,
record.
Amanda.
Jump up to Will
Thank
here.
you.
Can I go there? That's not matter.
So Will,
Yes, sir.
number 1 was This is Spinal Tap. Very good. Number 2, Nightmare on Elm Street. Number 3, Never-Ending Story. Ghostbusters, Terminator, Places in the Heart, Bachelor Party, The Last Starfighter, Silent Night, Deadly Night, Once Upon a Time in America, Nausicaa, Teachers. Rock and Roll Heaven, what would you like to put out there?
Yes, sir. Rock and Roll Heaven Pod, just like Thea mentioned, we do deep dives into musical artists that are no longer with us. We just started our 4th season. Count them 4. We right now have a series on the great Waylon Jennings that is a complete roller coaster. Someone mentioned the Cocaine Bear movie. We're getting to that point. But yeah, if you like musical artists that are no longer on this mortal coil, check us out.
Yancy, sounds like you.
Loving the Waylon Jennings. I'm really enjoying that. That's TJ's.
It's a wild ride. Yeah.
Big.
Yeah.
I'm going to check that out. I saw Waylon and Willie live in '84.
Oh, nice.
And Waylon, Willie actually had to do most of the show alone because Waylon didn't show up at first. And it's the first time I was a teenager and Willie was up there cursing on stage. Waylon finally showed up drunk and Willie was mad. He swore that he would leave if they let Waylon even come on. And then finally they patched things up. They did a few songs together and then Willie was mad and he left and Waylon played the rest of the show drunk.
Waylon did develop a habit of not appearing or refusing to appear or, but it's a crazy series. And we're following that one up with a series, I believe, Aaron, we're going to have you guest for one episode on that is on the great Dwayne Allman. Skydog.
Wow.
Look forward to that one too.
And 37 years later, Willie still looks the same.
Yeah, he hasn't changed. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks everybody. This was a lot of fun.
He's going to join Keith Richard on the never-ending
Thanks for joining us.
concert tour.
Happy to be here. Awesome.
Jeremy.
Take care,
Nice
guys.
meeting you, William.
Thank
Bye,
you, Will.
Will.
I will.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
So Jeremy's picks were Ghostbusters, Bachelor Party, The Terminator, Nightmare on Elm Street, Silent Night, Deadly Night, Once Upon a Time in America, The Last Starfighter, Places in the Heart, Teachers, Neverending Story, and Nausicaa. And this is Spinal Tap.
Yes. And you can find me on Paranormal the New Normal podcast, as well as on Global Strangeness podcast every Sunday night. We do a live one at 9:00. I always share it out on Facebook where we drink and we talk about random paranormal topics. It's always fun. But
sounds awesome.
You can also find me on Facebook as Paranormal the New Normal / Maniacal Music Musings podcast with the S Facebook group. You can find me on Twitter and the Gram as that Juggalo Bastard. And you can find me on TikTok as at Juggalo Bastard Podcast. And you can find me on YouTube as either as Maniacal Music Musings or Paranormal New Normal. And I'll let Chanty get more into Maniacal Music Musings when it's his turn.
Yeah, that's
All right.
if you want the slower ASMR way to say it, it's Paranormal the New Normal.
Yes.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Cool. Thanks.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Appreciate everything you've been
Nice
on.
meeting you,
Your
Jeremy.
co-host there.
Yeah. Bill. Let's see, his picks were The Terminator, Bachelor Party, Nightmare on Elm Street, Teachers, Ghostbusters, Last Starfighter, Once Upon a Time in America, Silent Night, Deadly Night, This is Spinal Tap, Places in the Heart, Nausicaa, The Valley of the Wind, Neverending Story. Anything you'd like to promote, put out there?
Sure, you can catch me in room B223 of Battery Creek High School, molding the young minds of today, possibly launching my 2024 presidential campaign, considering the only 3 guys I see out there, and I can beat all 3 of those.
Got my
You've
vote.
got my vote.
Yeah. It's a good place to start your campaign right here.
Shit, no,
Grassroots.
man.
Exactly. I'm launching. I mean, I see
Very
the competition. I can take them out. And I've occasionally done a little WGRR oldies as a DJ down here. I've been on theirs a couple times. They've had me guest DJ a couple times, which has been nice.
Fun.
Other than that, you guys are the podcast premier people.
All right. There's a blurb for us. We're going to use that. We don't get enough endorsements from our guests, but we're going to use that one. Thank you, Bill.
Please feel free to.
Big Willie style.
Okay.
See, we did Mike already. We'll jump down to Rod.
All right. Yeah, you can find me online at rodrgarcia.com, or you can find my publishing company, Epiphany Mill, at epiphanymill.com as well. I just released my young adults, the pilot to my young adults novel series, Endgame, spelled INDGAME, in November, and the audiobook just came out in February. So, and it's doing well, getting a lot of really good feedback from the voice work on it. So really having a fun time with that. The sequel book comes out in August, and there's actually 7 scheduled. So August is the sequel book. And I actually have a small team working on a video game now as well. So we're working on a full scale open world, semi-open world video game to go with the entire book series.
Very
Fantastic.
cool.
Yeah.
Do you want to
Do you have any
describe
merch?
the plot a little bit of Endgame?
Endgame is kind of it's a young adult series, but it's kind of a dystopian potential future. It starts with a young man who's involved in an awful accident. He's been testing neural reality games for his dad for several years, and his dad, in a last-ditch effort to save his son's life, combines the memory database that was saved from his son's games with nanotech to basically reboot his son's brain. And when he does so, the nanotech decides that the memories, which are missing in the real world but present in his head, must be real and must be missing. And in their attempt to heal him, decides that they need to heal everything. And they're bringing his gaming memories into the real world, but using real people and materials and stuff as the source material to create what they're building. So it's yeah,
It's interesting.
Didn't you get a celebrity endorsement for that from George W. Bush? Don't you?
Well, he was a major part in playing one of the characters in the game and the audiobook version of it, and he was right pleased to do that. He was planning on hopefully doing the voice work for the film as well.
Hey, Rod, do you have merch yet?
Do I have? I do actually. Epiphany Mill. Actually, and on my page, there's a link to it, but there's a website called epiphanymall.com, and it holds all of the merch for in-game material, as well as it'll be merch for where we'll have the merch for everything else that we produce as well.
Everything you publish.
Well, I think that endorsement's aged pretty well over the last couple of years. That's a ringing endorsement compared to what it could have been if it come, from
depending on who it came from.
Right.
And listeners, what Rod didn't make clear, for me at least, is that Epiphany Mill is a publishing company, so it won't just be doing his work. They're open to other works.
That's correct. Yeah. So
And
Epiphany Mill.
your rankings.
Yeah, please.
Last Starfighter was #1, Terminator, Ghostbusters, Spinal Tap, Nightmare on Elm Street #5, Bachelor Party, Teachers, Neverending Story, Once Upon a Time in America. #10 is Places in the Heart, 11 Silent Night, Deadly Night, and finishes it off with Nausicaa.
I will say that once I watch Nausicaa, that may be significantly higher on the list, but it's a plan now.
Exactly.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it before.
Maybe
a few weeks
maybe
ago.
we ought to consider a follow-up to see if once people have actually watched all of the ones on the list.
Re-ranks.
Yeah, to see if there's a
Interesting.
re-rank. Just a quick half-hour kind of thing.
We'll test the waters and see if there's any interest in a follow.
Right.
After this.
It's a big commitment to do this to begin with.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying a little half an hour thing.
Yeah.
So who we got left here? We got Chancey, right? Or is he dropped out?
No, I'm here.
We got
I've just
Chancey.
I've just been, quiet as a church mouse.
Chancey's picks.
Lurking
do your
in the
picks,
corner.
Your ranks first. Once Upon a Time in America, Terminator, Silent Night, Deadly Night, Nightmare on Elm Street, Ghostbusters, Neverending Story, The Last Starfighter, This is Spinal Tap, Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, Places in the Heart is #10, Teachers, Bachelor Party. And what would you like to promote?
Well, I'm a weekly co-host of Maniacal Music Musings with Jeremy. It's a show where we have a guest and we each three pick an album. And then we, after listening to the albums, come up with reviews and a top 5. And then we do monthly brackets on specific artists. We run live on Tuesdays, but they come out on all the places you can get a podcast on Fridays. And my social media is just Facebook under my name. Instagram and TikTok is the Red Eye Roundtable. And Twitter is Red Eye Table. I've had a lot of fun, guys.
All right.
Nice meeting you.
Fancy.
Yeah.
Nice
The
meeting you.
pleasure is mine. It's
Didn't get
always a
to meet you
pleasure,
face to
guys.
face, but your voice is great. So.
Yeah,
You
we
too.
were
Hey,
on.
thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
We
you.
were
I do
we
like
were
your
guests
voice.
on your. I made you listen to a Funkadelic album on.
I totally
on
loved
Maniacal
it. It
Music.
was great.
Yeah,
I
that
have.
is a great album.
I'd love to have you guys back. Y'all are more than welcome. It's a great show.
Thanks for being on.
Everybody
You
on
guys
this
have yourself.
everybody that's been in this podcast is welcome to come on Maniacal Music Musings if they haven't been on already, especially.
Oh yeah, for
That's
sure.
a fun
You
show.
know what? If you find me, hit me up. I would
Let
love
me-
to. Love
Let me
you.
know when you do the monkeys.
We're doing Weird Al in a couple weeks, Rod.
I can do the
Oh my
monkeys or
gosh.
Jim Croce. That's about it.
Doesn't get much better than that.
Weird Al is one of my favorites.
Oh,
Love Weird Al.
nice.
Mm-hmm.
So we got just me, Phil, and Lisa left, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have yourself a
Well,
wonderful day.
I'll listen to you
All right.
guys.
Too,
Take care,
Chancey.
Chancey. Thanks.
Thanks, Chancey.
Well, this whole
See you
thing's
guys.
kind of been a.
down there, Aaron. There's
What's
some
that?
that should have been on the list. It's kind of Night of the Comet,
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
love that movie.
Hot Dog, the movie. Should have been
That's-
on the list just for
that's
Shannon
a
Tweed.
shit show
Why
for a
is it?
movie. I watched that about 5 years ago, maybe longer.
And-
Whenever Netflix was still mailing out red envelopes.
One of the best baseball movies, The Natural.
I am honestly surprised that
cheesy.
didn't show up. Nobody even mentioned it, and so thank you for bringing that up, Bill. That was a great film. Robert
Yeah.
Redford at his at his best, honestly.
He was way too old to be in that movie.
Yeah, I agree. I was like,
You know,
wait a
maybe
minute,
looking
what?
back, that might have been true. I didn't recognize that then.
No, yeah, in 1984, but rewatching it now.
But if you
that
take the movie,
is so
he's supposed to be
problematic.
that. He's supposed to be that old because look at how many years he was gone after he got shot.
He was gone
So he's supposed to be
16
that.
years. He was 48 years old when he made that movie.
What about the Cotton Club? That wasn't mentioned. Beverly Hills
Yeah.
Cop wasn't
Yeah.
in there.
The Cotton Club
It was
would have
mentioned.
benefited from editing.
It was mentioned, but it was boring as shit. Like, and I love musicals.
Okay.
I like
Yeah,
the
I
Cotton Club, but it
Ah.
just went on too long. It was an hour too long.
Pope of Greenwich Village, but we're going to redo that one when we do the Perm episode. When we get all the movies.
Good. I didn't.
Oh,
I didn't
our
quite
next
make it.
episode is mustaches.
Yeah.
Mustache movies.
Mustache movies.
All right, you got to combine. You got to create the list.
The
I'm
company,
working on it.
Aaron, I agree with you on that one. The Company of Wolves was fucking horrible.
Oh, yeah,
that's
that is
terrible.
that is pathetic.
That was
Truly
a
bad theater.
dude. That was
Truly bad theater.
I was
Mustache
like,
movies. I mean, pretty much anything with Burt Reynolds could be in those. That's
Yeah.
I mean, I was
Burt
like,
Reynolds and Tom Selleck right off the bat.
Right.
What's the old joke? Burt Reynolds gets royalties whenever a bad movie's made.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, Cannonball Run is like still. That's a
Yeah,
classic.
right.
It is a classic.
White Lightning, Gator,
Oh my gosh,
Longest Yard, but he didn't have the mustache.
Longest
in that.
Yard.
WW and the Dixie Dance Kings.
Oh my gosh.
Now you're just making shit up.
No,
it's-
these exist.
You know, I did want to say
Hey,
the
best
funny
little
one-
whorehouse in Texas exists. So right there
There
where
you go.
That's right.
Is you know how Meryl Streep takes the tough guys and turns them into wusses? I mean, look what we got De Niro. She did it to Clint with
Eastwood.
Briggs and Madison. She just takes all the tough guys and ruins them.
Oh,
did
you
you
know,
do Nicholson? I'm trying to think.
Oh,
I gotta go. I gotta
All
go.
right,
but
Jeremy.
it was
Nice
great.
meeting
Getting,
you,
nice
it was
meeting
great
you,
getting to meet you all. I'll talk to y'all soon. Okay.
You guys have a good
Jeremy,
day.
Bye.
Yes, we're going to the playground.
All right.
All right. Well, maybe we should wrap it up.
Yeah.
Are you
feel
wanting to go through our individuals
Yeah.
also?
go
Yeah.
for it.
I'll go over your
And don't forget Sam Elliott on Mustache Movies because my
Oh,
thank you.
Oh yeah.
Big-
And Craig T. Nelson.
Yeah.
from that one movie
Lifeguard with
last year.
Sam Elliott. I mean,
Sam Elliott. I mean, like he has enough mustache to share with all of the others we've talked about. It's
Yeah.
I agree totally.
Yeah.
So the Big Lebowski's in that one. That's good.
Mhm.
Yep.
See, Phil's Once Upon a Time in America, #1, Places in the Heart. This is Spinal Tap, Nightmare on Elm Street, Ghostbusters #5, Terminator, Last Starfighter, Bachelor Party, Neverending Story, Nausicaa number 10, Teachers, and Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Okay.
And Lisa,
Mm-hmm.
Neverending Story number 1, Places in the Heart number 2, Last Starfighter, Nightmare on Elm Street, number 5, Spinal Tap, Bachelor Party, Teachers, Terminator, Ghostbusters, number 10's Once Upon a Time in America, Nausicaa, and Silent Nights, Deadly Night.
Mm-hmm.
Phil and Lisa, what would you like to promote?
Hon, you're up.
I'd like to promote the podcast with Lisa, Phil, and Aaron, the podcast about nothing.
I love those guys.
Thank you.
Basically,
I'm fond of them too.
we use it to, it's our, we call it a chat lab or a sandbox where we do whatever the hell we want to do.
I just call it a conversation.
Yeah. But it's
This was fun.
yeah-on-hun.com or at pod.
Mm-hmm.
That
all
request
our
came
socials.
from his wife. Felix goes to Nightmare on Elm Street.
Woo!
Woo! All right.
And I come in last again. by the way.
Surprise. Well,
Ghostbusters number 2, or Terminator and Ghostbusters tied for number 2. Neverending Story number 3. This is Spinal Tap
Yay.
number 4. Last Starfighter number 5.
respectable.
Bachelor Party number 6. Places in the Heart hold on. Spinal Tap 5. Starfighter 6. Bachelor Party 7. Places in the Heart 8. Once Upon a Time in America 9. Silent Night, Deadly Night 10. Teachers 11. Nausicaa, The Valley of the Wind 12.
Yeah,
All right.
but that's 12
That's a good
on
list.
this list.
We finally got it
Right.
right. We got it
Yeah.
right. You know, Amadeus is a
Yeah.
piece of garbage.
Ew.
It, you know,
Yeah.
they
I
must
don't
have
list.
agree
dropped.
with that, but
They totally
None
screwed
of those
that up. Freddy
big
Krueger,
period
you know,
Pretty
Robert
sure everyone was on drugs in the 80s.
Robert Englund should have got, you know, award for
Yeah.
best leading actor,
Every
best
time.
he
costume.
deserves all the awards.
Yes.
Mhm.
Best tongue. And
Best
I don't know.
tongue
My
in-
favorite Robert
and
Englund
best-
line.
Best manicure.
yes, best man. Yep.
Best manicure. My
Oh, is it
favorite
best
Robert
line?
Englund line, though, and I'm not sure if anybody's going to get this, but pardon me, I am just. Does
I
anybody
don't.
remember
What's that
Is that
from?
from V?
That was from V.
Oh
He
my
was
God.
Billy.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Nice.
yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
I
Lost.
forgot he was
Yeah,
in
he
that.
did the cadence in V very well. Oh, he's really big in V.
Right.
And he
I
was a
think.
backing vocalist on "Can You Feel the Love Tonight" in The Lion King.
Oh,
Yeah, he was.
And a lot of people don't know that
That's a
he
fun
did.
fact. He does a lot of Broadway, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I think
You only had to wait
Yeah.
two,
He did
2
a-
hours to get to the good stuff. Oh, sorry.
He did kind of a horror version of the Phantom of the Opera called Phantom, I believe.
Well,
Mhm.
nice.
He's a masterpiece of a human.
just saw him on Criminal
Yeah.
Minds. He was outstanding.
Yeah.
I think we feel validated here. I mean, we really
Yeah,
got it
we
right.
do.
Back in 1984, they really screwed that up. But we
screwed
righted
the
a lot of
pooch.
wrongs here today.
Yeah.
Because half of my top 15 are on this list.
Mhm.
So I really feel validated.
Aaron's
Cool.
last twice. He watched 59 movies and he's last.
Oh.
Oh, wow. That's dedication.
Stir the pot.
He
He,
picked up-
likes to be different.
He picked up a fan in Amanda though. It was
Yeah.
ASMR
Uh-huh.
soothing. tone.
Yes,
Right.
I'm telling you.
Lisa
Eric,
was
Like
that.
I
Good.
could listen to your voice and just like
Hi,
melt
pretty lady.
into a
I
coma
know.
because it's so.
I'm looking at my
beautiful.
top 10 and I'm not apologizing for any of it.
Aaron,
No,
you
no.
you could have
You
picked the
shouldn't.
bounty and got a lot more votes. Just saying.
Yeah.
Bounty 17. Right
Mhm.
below
Most of
Dune,
my top
which is
10
right
didn't
below
make this list
Terminator.
either.
Yeah.
Well, so congratulations to Nightmare on Elm Street.
We have social.
Twitter,
Yeah. Pod.
Instagram,
Yeah. Pod.
Facebook,
Yeah. Pod.
website.
www.yeah-uh-huh.com. So let us know. Hit us back. Have a great week.